Hello everybody, happy weekend. Happy Skyrim weekend. How's it going? We got the panicked monk over here first in the chat, whipping out his fantastic maracas. Everybody loves Joe's maracas. Magus is here, who agrees. Joe has great maracas. Tom's here, he's getting a snack and a drink. I don't blame him at all. Hope everybody's doing well. Doing pretty good. Hope you had a good 4th. Ate some hamburgers and hot dogs and celebrated your Independence Day. That movie was on at my cousin's house. We went to a little pool party at his house. And, you know, I had the hamburgers and hot dogs and everything. And, yeah, Independence Day was on, of course. Man, that Bill Pullman speech where he was getting everybody riled up to fight those aliens. It's one of the all-time greats, I think. Had a great 4th with the fireworks. Yeah, I used to love fireworks when I was younger, but then I became a dog owner, and man, dogs do not like fireworks. It's always a rough night. The new puppy Norton, he got a little bit fussy with them, but it wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad. Did you go somewhere and see fireworks, or did you have fireworks close, Magus? Trap a person in a summoned cage. That sounds like this would be awesome for an archer. I definitely need that. Here we go. And I'm also looking for smithing gear. So if I can find stuff of smithing, that would also be great. Don't see anything there. We've got a bunch of stuff to sell though here. Yeah, this is not going to be a vendor stream, so don't get too excited when you see me selling a bunch of stuff off here. It's not going to last long. Promise. Our pets here enjoy them. I guess it depends on where you are. We set them off here, as did everyone in the hood. Yeah, it also depends on the animal too. Let's see. Yeah, our last dog didn't like them at all. Norton doesn't seem too upset by them after the first few went off anyway. But we didn't actually have many here. They canceled a lot of the shows because of how dry it is and how many of the fires and stuff we've been having around the area. So canceled all the fireworks show, but some of the neighbors were still setting them off. Even though they weren't supposed to, they did it anyway. I mean, you can't really ask people to not set off fireworks on 4th of July. I think it's kind of what you do. All right, so what are we doing? We are looking for word walls. I'm actually here in Dawnstar though this week. I was trying to, you know, I was continuing my alchemy training, and I'm trying to get the Dawnstar house, which is actually down in this area over here, kind of close to the Loria's farm. And the Jarl here of the Pale wants me to come down here and kill a giant. Maybe we'll do that on our way back to Iverstead in order to grab the next location of the word wall. But I do want to do a vendor run here real quick. I got a bunch of stuff in my inventory that I'm trying to sell off. And the faster I can get that 50,000 gold, the faster I can get another perk. Hey, there's Arif popping in for a bit. How's it going, Arif? Hope you are doing well, my friend. The roulette I already have. Fire blast I already have, I think. Culling. That seems pretty cool. I think I might already have this one, but I'm gonna buy it anyway. I got plenty of things to barter with here. Summon Daedra, put under your control. Multiplied on 4, that's the momentum enchantment. And do we have anything here for... Ooh, extreme smithing. Yes, please, I'll take that. That is fortuitous indeed. That's exactly what I was looking for. Close enough.
It's been good talking.
How are we looking? Almost 15,000. And we just got the alchemy shop over here. And I guess we could go up to Medina, the court wizard, up in the Jarl's Longhouse up there. That's like communism. Well, could be. Do you have throw voice yet? Perfect shout for a thief. You know, I'm not sure. I might have one or two. I do not have any of them. Look at that. Yeah, see, that's kind of why I have decided to make a beeline and just start chasing down word walls. That fight with the two drag... Oh.
Just step up to the counter.
Oh, I'll step up to the counter. Yoink. 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 Hope you didn't need any of that, Frida. What do you got to say?
The mortar and pestle has cures for every illness. From
Yeah, I'd like to make an investment in your business. I've just had a sudden windfall. I'm looking to diversify my portfolio, if you will.
More coin means more supply.
Yeah, no, that fight with the two dragons in the Forgotten Vale was really tough, and it would have been made easier if I had some certain shouts. So that's kind of why I started making a beeline for these shouts. I also want to get all of the Thunderchild shouts unlocked with these 3 main classes here, because I want to do a Thunderchild video at some point, and that's going to be a big one. So I'm going to need like a lot of different types of characters to present a lot of different examples on how to use these different shouts, because some of them are like mainly for thieves, other ones are mainly for like mages, other ones are for warriors, you know. So all of that. Let's see, just want to make sure. Skeever hide, no. Anything else? Dragon's tongue, yes, I can use those. Definitely want the fire salts and the frost salts. I can make trick arrows with those. Void salts, yes please. Anything else? Spider eggs are fortify archery. I don't see any other fortify archery there. The glow dust is fortify destruction though, and I can use those with the trick arrows to make them stronger. Anything else? I think we're good. All right, sell off some more stuff and then we'll head to Iverstead. I did get the Skull of Corruption. I don't think I'll be using it. I'll probably sell it off if I can find somebody with enough money for it. Just for the fear effect is good on it, but it I don't think you really need it for a stealth archer. Especially because I don't want to be switching out of my bow or crossbow to get that equipped, you know. It's gonna take a lot of time, and then I don't know. I feel like there are better ways to cause a fear effect. The music is a bit distracting. Yeah, so sometimes I'll turn the music off. I think we just got to a loud part. It's pretty quiet now. That one part of that one song gets kind of loud. Sometimes I'll turn the music off, and then somebody else will pop in and say, "Hey, where's the music?" And I'm like, "Okay, I'll turn the music back on." And then somebody pops up and says, "The music's too loud." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'll turn the music off." I don't know if I can get the music any quieter and still be able to hear it, honestly. I think it was just a loud song. Ross Norris, what's up, buddy? Probably not going to be chatting a lot, just going to be lurking and playing games. That sounds awesome. Have a good lurk, buddy. Chuck Norris in the
like
chat.
You are hard to find and very valuable to me. Take a look.
Looking for soul trap scrolls, which seem very rare, but you can also make trick arrows with those. The glass arrows of maze takes an enemy out of the fight for a good chunk of time. Okay.
That museum is a
Good to go.
mistake.
Is it? I like mistakes. Maybe we'll go check out the mistakes. Okay, so frame of mind that collects many things. Our Ordinator, our Argonian thief, is in right now. She's still in a pretty dark, bitter, cold state of mind here. She is going to be sarcastic and cold with pretty much everybody that she interacts with. She is a vampire, so that's kind of the physical manifestation of her current mood. She is not in a good place, not in a good headspace mentally. And why is that? Well, that is because it all stemmed from Zora, her best friend, NPC from Interesting NPCs. Actually, maybe we'll do a little carriage right here. Was accompanying her and Serana to Dim Hollow Crypt, and Miko, Zora's dog, was killed in the process of getting Serana out of that cave. And that put Zora in a really dark spot. Now, before Collect's many things met Zora, she was very timid, very fearful of the world. She was just scraping by to survive, you know, eating scraps, just finding whatever she could to get by. And that was rough for her. It was a very lonely existence as well. And then Zora came along and they were, you know, fast friends. Zora didn't care that she was a poor Argonian beggar slash thief. She just, you know, joked around with her immediately, was very unassuming. Just because there was a poor Argonian, you know, scrounging around looking to salvage anything she could from these dungeons and everything. So, you know, they became fast friends. Cole never really had a friend like Zora. Never really had a close friend at all, really. And then she was introduced to, you know, the bliss of having a very close friend and not being alone anymore. Having a confidant and an ally, unconditional ally in your back, at your back all the time, in your corner. So life was good. Zora taught Cole how to have fun, how to enjoy life instead of just merely scraping by to survive. I saw a lot of holes in that wing. I think Durnavir followed me. Pretty sure that's Durnavir, yeah? That's gotta be Durnavir. Okay. Good. Scared the crap out of me for a minute. Yeah, I've been summoning Durnavir to get the Soul Tear shout. I think I need to summon him one more time. Although, kind of shocked he's still around. Should help with the dragon, or the giants here that I gotta kill for Jarl. Don't remember the Jarl of Dawnstar's name. Okay, we got an Ice Wraith, a Frostbite Spider, and a Frost Troll. I am most scared of the Ice Wraith, but it looks like the Frost Troll is the only one left. So, go bigs. That's kind of how a thief does it, right? Wait for the most opportune moment to strike. Instead of fighting all three of these at once, why not just let them all kill each other and then we'll take what's left. Don't need a lot of these large bones here. The goat horns we can use for our Hearthfire properties. So life was good with Zora when things were going well. And then Zora confided in her that she had a dog when she was a kid that she loved dearly. We found Miko out in the woods and Zora fell in love immediately. And Miko followed us everywhere. He was a fierce companion. He was a capable warrior on his own. It's funny to kind of consider. Oh, look at that cute little fox. Kind of funny to consider a dog a warrior, I guess. But yeah, he held his own in a fight for sure. But I think he got hit. He is protected, I think, like most companions, like all companions, he is protected. So he's gonna go down in a fight but not die until he gets hit with friendly fire. But I think what happened was Serana hit him with an ice storm that travels through enemies and hits several enemies in its path, and just he was kind of collateral damage of something Serana did. So that was a terrible thing that had happened. All right, sounds like the giant there is fighting a frost troll over there, it looks like. Frost troll's not gonna last very long, I don't think. So that threw Zora. Once we got through the... Oh my god, he's coming right at me. Frost troll is like, F this noise. Okay, no, now we just got caught. All right. Oh, now you're running away from me? I want to get the 3 crows strike on him, the triple strike. I am less concerned about the giant because their attack speed is so slow that I can pretty much dodge everything he throws at me. It's the mammoth coming up behind me that I am most scared of. Serana aggro's everything. Yeah, it's that ice storm I think is the problem. She uses that all over the place, and it even if she's targeting enemies, it goes right through the enemy, and it'll hit everything in its path, including whatever followers you got also attacking the enemies that she's attacking. So okay, now that we can see the mammoth, I think we're okay. I remember you finding one of your arrows in Miko too, though. Yeah, I mean, he was picking up. I mean, technically, yeah, it might have been me that killed him. I don't really know, because he did pick up a few strays. He caught a few strays for sure, but he did that without dying as well. So those might have been in his inventory from before the death. In any case, I don't. For story purposes, I don't think Cole would have killed Miko, but if she did... Oh, here's the Giant's Club. Can I actually wield this? Oh no, that's the bugged one that you can only get with a follower. Although it would work out story-wise, right? If Cole made a mistake, that would really have put Zora off of Cole for a long while. But for the story that I have in mind, because I want to have a happy reunion between these two at some point, I think it's just better that Miko just died in sort of the service of trying to quell this vampire uprising, right? If Cole purposely or mistakenly killed Miko, that would be that's a bit too dark for my taste. But also that would be a lot harder to come back from. Zora probably wouldn't just be depressed at that point. She would probably be enraged and trying to kill Cole, and I don't want that. I just want Zora to be, you know, Cole's source of happiness to kind of like become sort of chronically depressed for a while. I mean, I say that like I want that to happen. Nobody actually wants that to happen, right? But that's for the interest of the story. That's what we're gonna do. But that also leaves the door open for healing reunion at some point. And the thief character here can really use some help with some bigger enemies like dragons. I've been struggling a little bit with killing dragons solo. I've been doing it. I found... Ooh, that is a saber cat, and that saber cat found my ass. Okay. Paralysis, please, because that guy will make short work of me. We'll be leather ribbons in no time. Is he dead yet? I don't think he's dead yet. Not dead. Now he's dead. Dog killer. Karn killed Miko for the plot. No, I actually didn't plan on Miko dying. I just tried to roll with it the best I could, because that is a very motivational, very emotional thing, right? So why not use it? I mean, a lot of people play video games because they can control the outcome of everything, and the world is a chaotic, scary place, but you go into like a video game world and at least everything makes sense, right? If you're trying to do a role play and you're trying to tell an interesting story, I think a good story, good role play playthrough can benefit from just dealing with that friction, living with that friction, letting that uneasiness settle in a little bit and help define your character. And now it's not gonna affect your build one way or the other, right, in terms of complete gameplay, but to make the playthrough memorable, you know, and to have these fond memories of this character and like just be able to sit and stew with something that happened in the game for a while, you need a little bit of emotional distress, I think. Oh geez, okay, well, I'm basically immune to poison, so that's not gonna bother me too much. Woo! Got a mid lunge. Gotta have a mod that tells you what to allow her to cast, like SDA. What does SDA stand for? It's not one I've heard of. Get some spider eggs out of there for the fortify archery. Sometimes the story writes itself. Yeah, and that's also a good reason to avoid fast travel as much as possible, because these random world encounters can help with that story. You never know when something's gonna come by, and I don't know, like those kids that had the Dwemer artifacts might send you to a Dwemer ruin or something, or the woman from Mistvale Keep, or not Mistvale Keep, what is that? Maybe it is Mistvale Keep. Mistwatch can set you on a whole other journey, and there are random encounters that you know, can be more definitive for a character or a playthrough than just, you know, clearing out bandits. But you can always assign or add, embellish bits of story and significance around these otherwise seemingly insignificant encounters. How did I miss this on the way down? Oh, because I took the carriage ride. Okay. All right, we have some fog here to provide us some cover. It is just after noon, so we do not have the cover of darkness here to infiltrate this bandit encampment, but other than the promise of maybe some treasure, there's not really any other reason to infiltrate this place. If we stick close to the wall, we might actually be able to avoid line of sight of any sentries that are posted on top of it. Yeah, like that archer up there. You go away from the wall a little bit, then that opens up that line of sight angle. You might actually get seen. So what was it that it was either Pip or Mary said in Lord of the Rings? Closest to danger, furthest from harm. Holds true sometimes. Okay. I'm gonna take this opportunity to sulk away. Oh, Serana dialogue add-on does more than just her dialogue. Controls her spells, outfits, etc. Does a lot. Okay, gotcha. Wasn't connecting the dialogue add-on with with any kind of functionality, but that does make a certain amount of sense. Fully fleshing out her as a follower, I guess. My favorite world interaction is after you finish the Ethereum quest line, the guy who wrote Stole the Book, sees your Ethereum stuff and attacks you because you know too much, right? They stole the work of, what's her name? The ghost. Yeah, that's kind of cool. And you don't see that if you fast travel everywhere. You have to, you know, do cross-country on-foot travel. Also, Babette, out on a hunting trip, if you're in the Dark Brotherhood, you get to see her, you know, looking for her next meal out in the world. But you only see that if you're traveling on foot. If you fast travel, you skip all that too. Same with the companions. That looks like guards fighting an ice wolf. Okay, I think those are guards. I don't know who the guy in the furs are. Are those bandits? Those actually might be bandits. I thought that was a guard. No, the guy in the steel looks like a mercenary. And the guy in the furs is either an old orc, but I don't see any saber cats around. Oh, geez, these might actually be bandits. If they're bandits, I'm gonna pickpocket them. Okay, so I did adjust Artful Dodger to leave a 2% chance that I will fail pickpocketing. Oh no, these are just mercenaries. Okay. I don't want to pickpocket legal civilians this close to town. Joe is back. You still got your maracas out, buddy? 98%. Yeah, we talked about that, right? I don't remember what number we landed on. I think you were campaigning for 96, 97% or something like that. I was like, I don't know, maybe 98% for a Master Thief. We'll see how it goes. Could have been the other way around, maybe. Ever since I've said it, though, I still have not been caught by anybody, so it is a pretty low percentage. For me, 10% is just way too high of a chance to get caught. It seems to happen way more than 10% too. Chicka chicka boom, yes. Is that a real world 98% or a Skyrim 98%? It feels like a pretty real world 98%. I don't know. It feels a lot closer to 98% than Skyrim's 90% feels like a real world 90%. Because that's not close, right? Skyrim's 90% chance to get, or I'm sorry, 10% chance to get caught feels almost more like a 40% chance to get caught in the game. It's crazy. Meanwhile, XCOM 95% chance to hit. Nope, missed 4 times in a row. Yeah, it feels like that. I was listening to a Diablo developer talk too.
Need something?
And they were talking about legendary drop rates. Specifically in the context of a treasure goblin. Every time you kill a treasure goblin, you should have a 50-50 chance whether or not it drops a legendary. That's how it was at launch anyway. And they said, no, we looked at all the logs, we looked at all the records, that 50% drop rate was working. There was no bug there. It's just that people have a negative bias on, they remember and they notice more when a random encounter does not go their way. So it feels like you're not getting it. So it could very well be just, you know, the way we're perceiving these failed rolls here. But they said, yeah, the crux of the issue is it's like these treasure goblins are rare enough to encounter, and then they take forever to kill, and then it feels really bad when you don't get a legendary weapon for it, right? So they just had to kick it up to like a 90% chance, and they eventually made it a 100% chance after that. So the crux of the issue wasn't that there was a bug in the RNG, it was just that it felt too crappy not to get one after you did all the work to do it. So yeah, I feel like, I don't know, I should probably actually log my vanilla pickpocket attempts, but it does feel closer to like 30% or 40% fail rate with that 90% max. I feel like even if you played enough with 95%, that would probably feel too low as well. With XCOM, you can have a 90% shot with having a high aiming level as immediate hit, but if you have 10 shooting in your character, you're more likely to miss 90% because it's built into an... Okay, so yeah, it's not just that one. There's other things going on with it, including like shooting skill and stuff too, huh? All right, we already stopped at Akari. All right, we got to go back to Jarl. Shit, I can't remember his name. Somebody probably already put it in the chat. I was just in the bathroom dropping treasure goblins. Did you get any legendaries in there, Magus? They were like, surprise. Yeah, I mean, everybody who played Diablo 4 before that first season, they were like, man, these treasure goblins suck. There's definitely something bugged because I am getting far less than 50% legendaries on these treasure goblins. And they double checked all the logs, everything that Evan had ever passed, and it all checked out. It was 50% indeed.
You've shown those monsters that they will no longer be tolerated in the
There's always one legendary, yeah, and then a bunch of little minions around it.
Here, a reward from your Jarl.
Maybe a sub boss.
There is room
Scald is his name, Jarl Scald.
It's an honorary
Scald the Elder, I guess.
But there are a few perks someone like you could make.
Oh, and I decided to take advantage of the summer sale on Steam and picked up Oblivion this morning. Haven't done anything with it yet. The remaster or the original? Guessing the remaster, right?
I'll make you my Thane.
That did go on sale for the first time. I don't think it was a... Dude looks 35. It's because of the hair. Yeah, it's definitely because of the hair. Man, Novus makes some very we'll call it interesting choices with the hair on these NPCs.
good luck.
The remastered, nice. The remaster's really good. A lot of us here in the chat has, and myself included, have really enjoyed it. I think Magus is still playing it. He started a new character. Just yesterday or the day before, I think, right? Dark Grove, I think.
Then by my right as Jarl, I name you Thane of the Pale. Congratulations.
Wasn't Jarl Skald? He was a very young. No, Skald wasn't. You're thinking of Jarl of Falkreath, I think.
Serve as your badge of office. I'll also
Siggeir, I think.
Of your new title. Wouldn't want them to think you're part of the.
He's another sleazy Jarl.
Yes, it is. It's in the southern part of the Pale, right on the border with
Man, this. Yeah, this is a deal, man. I feel like if you were actually a real estate mogul in Skyrim, I mean, all the land is 5,000 gold all over the place, but you have to figure that Whiterun land, Whiterun property would be more expensive to buy outright than land in the Pale, right? Just because of how the proximity to all the different services and how populated it is, the tax rates are going to be higher, all that. But if you were like a real estate mogul in Skyrim, you'd be buying up this southern Pale land because it's so close to Whiterun. It's so close. You can actually see the Whiterun City and Dragon's Reach Palace from where you're setting up your homestead.
The Jarl has appointed me to be your housecarl.
Okay, so we got another housecarl. So if we have a dragon or something that we need to fight, we can find Gregor here. He could be a good tank for us.
Good fighting to you.
He's going to go back to the homestead. Fixing to restart that one. Some of the mods are too breaking in my opinion. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, I still got some achievements to track down in that game before I start putting mods into it. Skald is just Stormcloak loyal. Yeah, but he's like blindly loyal, right? He's even saying as much as like, yeah, the dragon menace will go away as soon as we defeat the Imperials, because everything's the Imperials' fault. Should I or should I not? Definitely need the dragon skulls. And do we have Gregor? If we have Gregor still around here and he hasn't made it to the homestead yet, then maybe we'll go get that dragon. Yeah, Magus says fight it. Okay, let's see if we can find Gregor. I found some tactics that work pretty well against dragons, even solo. If you use the Elven Shock trick arrows, those are supposed to mute mages, but they also keep dragons from shouting. Where did Gregor go? He probably took a side path down to where we're supposed to be going. I think we could probably solo the dragon. Let's try it. Gregor's running away. It could be. Okay, then. Let's do this. Do a quick save here. Oh yeah, go ahead. Post away, Ross. You're good. What the hell is that? Floating shield? Great. Okay, we have Imperials and Stormcloaks going at it here. I am more interested in this dragon. Got to make sure that we have Dragon Rend. Yes, we have Dragon Rend. And then we're going to be going with our Elven Arrows of Grounding. Yeah, now that dragon's running away from me. Come here, dragon. Not interested in testing your might against the Dragonborn? Okay, we got an ice dragon too. That bodes well for us as a vampire. Now we're gonna have to also deal with these bandits, but I'm hoping I can get the bandits to help me with the dragon. damn it. Stormcloak, okay. Okay, we'll take our perch up here. Ooh, he's coming at me. Oh, he's coming right up that hill. Ah, damn it. I don't want to get stuck down there with the bandits in the hole. Okay, well, the ice breath doesn't really hurt me that bad anyway. I gotta lob these arrows because I got something going on with my third person aiming. It's like see how every once in a while it goes way up in the air? That is not where I'm shooting that arrow. So I'm lobbing a lot of these. Yeah, see, he's not shouting anymore because of the grounding effect on these trick arrows. So just so we can see the description here, Elven Arrow is great. Explodes for 50 points of shock damage, which is a pretty nice little chunk on its own. Targets can't cast spells for 10 seconds. Yeah, go back and fight those bandits and the Stormcloaks. It's like the Stormcloaks beat the Imperials, so now they're fighting bandits and dragons, which just causes more chaos for me. Which is a good thing. Okay. He's not taking off after that. Can't use the Shadow Warrior Bow of Shadows invisibility step trick? Invisibility step. I don't know the invisibility step. So I know that you can use the Shadow Warrior to gain invisibility momentarily, and then you get the sneak attack damage for it, right? I don't have Shadow Warrior. I gotta be careful with my invisibility because I have the party starter perk. And that lays down an explosive keg. So if I'm trying to keep stealth with my invisibility, then I have to be careful not to shoot or break invisibility because it'll blow up and... then pull the bow out quickly for another invisibility second. Okay, yeah. No, I use invisibility for very, very specific gameplay combos with this build. And it's a pretty cool combo. I'll show it off. I think I have before. So basically what I do is I switch to the... we survived, by the way. That was great. I'll switch to the Bow of Shadows here. And then I'll sneak up to an enemy. And I will reverse pickpocket the Death's Emperor coin into them. Then I will draw the Bow of Shadows, and it leaves that explosive keg there. And then I'll back off slowly, and then I'll shoot at the guy that I left the Death's Emperor coin on. So we'll get added damage for all of this. You get sneak attack from the exploding keg, and you get sneak attack from the bow and arrow shot itself, and you get it all. You know, you get the Death's Emperor bonus on all of it. It's good stuff. It's really satisfying when you actually pull it off. Does a huge amount of damage, but it only works against humanoid enemies. Can't pickpocket a dragon or, you know, a troll or anything like that, so you can only use it against humanoid. Did I get a bounty? It was probably the splash damage from the from one of those bow shots. I'm also a vampire, but I don't think I'm pretty sure I'm well fed because I did the barracks buffet over in Dawnstar just last time I played. So I shouldn't be getting attacked on sight. Yeah, it was probably just splash damage from the trick arrow. Check your bounty. Let's check the bounty. The pale bounty. Yeah, I killed someone. Who the hell did I kill? Shit. I don't even know who I killed. That's crazy. Well, we already bought that house, so. And we got a couple dragon souls to use up too, huh? What do we got with Durnavir over here? Solitaire? Solitaire we can take at any point. Which one makes the most sense? I like Frost Breath. If I get all 3 shouts of Frost Breath, then we actually get a freezing effect on it, which is nice. Solitaire is good. It's kind of like a resurrection effect, but it's more of a momentum thing. You get a soul trap effect, and you get, I think, resurrection on this stuff, don't you? Killed someone with splash. Well, if they already had like a small amount of health on them. That one Stormcloak soldier probably. Yeah, but where are the witnesses? There are no witnesses. Not that I know of anyway. Oh well, we'll go pay off our bounty at some point. I can bribe guards to make our bounties go away. In any case. A horse probably saw me. Yeah, could be. Could be. That's okay. I thought I had a couple perks here that might actually work for that. I'm running Nocturnal, so Nocturnal helps reduce bounties when you pray at night. And I think there's one in the sneak tree here. I'm not sure if I have it or not. Clean escape, I think? No. Oh, that might be in pickpocket or lockpick. What's this character's name? Collects many things. I call her Cole for short. Lockpicking or pickpocketing? I think it's probably pickpocketing. Let's see here. Lawless world. Here we go. Petty crimes are slowly forgotten, allowing your bounties for non-violent crimes to decay at a rate of 50%. Okay, so I will have a reckoning to deal with. I might be able to just bribe the guard. We'll see. Might not really have to deal with Dawnstar too much anymore anyway. I already bought the property, and then once you buy a Hearthfire property, you're pretty much just able to build on top of it anyway. No big deal. You just have to avoid being seen by guards, because I think... Is it 1,000 where they attack you once? I don't think so. I think they'll still try to arrest you, and if you don't come quietly, they'll attack. South. I don't want to go south. Yes, I do want to go south. Cole? More like Cole, kinda, yeah. I try not to just go wantonly killing things and people with this character, where she is more the kind of just stealthy, just don't get... not quite pacifist. She'll kill, especially in her current state of mind, she'll kill just to make her job easier, but... I can put this Vigilant Veteran stuff on Gregor, maybe. Yeah, why not? Oh, jeez. Freaking rats. Oh, rats. Okay, where's my keg? There it is. Did I take them all? No, there's one. Don't have to worry about disease if you're a vampire, though. That's one thing. Makes the skeever less dangerous. Added the diving kill cam shot in your Discord. Ooh, diving kill cam. Interesting. Oh, is this something added by the Billy Rowe compendium? I think it is. This is a unique blade. And a static placement. Very cool blade. Say Malari. Okay, Skeever Tails give me light armor. Fortify light armor enchantment. Or not enchantment, but potion effects. So I'll be grabbing those tails. Cats and rats and elephants as sure as you're born, but don't you forget about the unicorn? I don't think I've heard that one. Don't think I've heard that one. Kind of catchy though. Oh, there's a goat. There's a spirit goat. Now he's just a spirit. Hey, what happened? Here we go. Accidentally drank a blood potion. Oh well, we'll get more of them. No bigs. It's an Irish pub song. Okay, okay. It's in the pickpocket lawless world. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I think you probably said that like right as I was looking in the perk tree for it. Welcome, Silent Echo. Hope you're doing well. All right, where are we going here? Well, I don't want to get too close to town with this 1,000 septim bounty, so we'll probably pick our way past Fort Dunstad here again. Past the Tower of Mazark here, and then we'll visit our new property in the Pale, and then we can probably take the Helyarchin carriage stop here. Face to face with life. What's up, buddy? Hope you are doing well. Oh, God. Okay, are we gonna have a joy next time you're drinking? Yeah, I don't drink, but we'll check this out. Playing a lot of Tainted Grail. It just went on sale, I think. I was thinking about picking that up. Maybe trying to do a build guide or something on it. Wait, you picked a banger Irish Rover Classic? Am I going to get copyright struck on this, or is this public domain? Not sure. Okay. All right. Well, a minute and 17 seconds, I think, is enough of that. If you're going to the pub later, maybe look that up. Give it a go. See if it catches. It might. There we go. And then we have the epic ending to the song. Drinking level 100. Nice. Yeah, I'm those pub songs like that usually are. Oh, this guy's gonna give me some good stuff. I'm his boss.
Hail, Nightingale. Luck has shined down on me and made me a rich man.
Nice.
Here is your cut.
I know
As
your
promised.
armor's showing
Good
it.
luck out there.
Dang. Doing pretty well for yourself. Keep going, brother in shadows. Oh, that's the passive effect that you get from singing that song is alcohol tolerance, level 100. Oh, there's another one there, huh?
I'll see you burn.
Oh, jeez. Did that back sway right at the right second. Oh my god. This thing is all over the place. Sorry, bud, I'm trying.
Cleared out, I guess.
Things are cagey as hell. About 150 hours into Tainted Grail, huh? Yeah, I was hoping they fixed some of the performance and stuttering issues with it before I picked it up. But it does look really good. Looking forward to trying it. Wouldn't it be awful if that thief bit the dust fighting that wraith right after playing Utribia? Yeah, right. I would feel bad about that. Almost as bad as I felt about Miko. YouTubers abandon it though because there's nothing on the third act online. Yeah, I mean my channel's like Skyrim channel, right? But I have to play other games. I can't just play Skyrim all the time. That doesn't work for me. So every once in a while I'll put a build for another game up. Like I have a Starfield build up. I have now I have an Oblivion remastered build up, and I want to do more of both of those. I have heard that Tainted Grail has some pretty good buildcraft in it, some pretty good character building. And I've been interested in that game since before it came out. As any game with like a small team, any indie game with a small team behind it, it's gonna have its technical problems. So I'm kind of waiting for them to finish cooking on it. Kind of like the Stalker 2 team did. Apparently that game is in much better shape now than it was at release. Most people liked the game when it was released, but it was just plagued with way too many bugs, and they fixed most of them now, so might have to go check that game out too. Oh, other games? I don't think I understand. You just bought Oblivion, man. Yeah, I know though. You do your unique niche build. What? Okay. You're talking about builds over there. Cool. Build crafting is good, quite deep. They just released version 1.5. Yeah, they're churning out those updates, huh? Surprised you haven't had a go yet with Fallout London. Absolutely brilliant, complete game, mod base, and for half a map together, it's math. Yeah, no, London seemed awesome to me, like really cool. I just haven't gotten around. I played a lot of Fallout 4. I just kind of got burnt out on it. Fallout 4 for me is, so for Bethesda's modern releases, starting with I guess Skyrim. Well, so we're talking about Skyrim, Fallout 4, and then Starfield, right? My ranking on that goes Skyrim at top, Starfield on number 2, and Fallout 4 on number 3. I love both of them, or I love all of them. I put multiple hundreds of hours in all of them. But for me, Fallout 4 is just a little bit more on rails, right? So it's kind of hard. It's harder to tell your own story in a Fallout game because they usually give you some kind of big... They drop a big motivational bomb on you right at the beginning of the game. Skyrim and Starfield. Skyrim does it too a little bit with the sort of apocalyptic threats that they're dropping in your lap right away. Starfield kind of just lets you off the rails immediately. because there's nothing really to, except other than your own curiosity, there's nothing really driving you down that storyline too much, which is kind of why I prefer the writing and the story of Starfield, because it gives you so much room to tell your own story and do your own role play. The Fallout is on the other end of that gamut. You're kind of locked in. You're always playing, you know, one character or one of two characters. In the case of Nora and what's the guy's name, Nate. And it's like once you find out about your son and where you might be, it's like once your son gets abducted, it's like there's nothing else that matters in that plot, in that world, than finding your son, right? That's crazy. What else would you be doing? With Skyrim, it gives you a little bit more wiggle room. If you're playing like maybe a character who's just more self-interested and not really that heroic or whatever, then they're not really going to be as concerned about this crazy end times Alduin prophecy. It's like, oh, it's a dragon, somebody else is going to deal with the dragons, and then maybe, you know, hesitantly they'll join the fight. Starfield, it just lets you do whatever you want right out of the gate. It's like, yeah, we have these artifacts. They're weird, they're crazy. You're gonna see visions when you touch them. We want to figure out more about them, but at that point, it's like, okay, maybe you care about that, maybe you don't. You're not saving lives or anything, and it just opens things up really, really well to tell your own story and to follow your own character concept. So all that to say that Fallout 4 for me, I burn out on that faster than I do the Skyrim or Starfield, just because of how on rails it is with its narrative. So now I kind of have like this burnout connotation with anything Fallout 4. Even if I'm like playing a different story in Fallout 4, I still feel like I'm playing Fallout 4. But I will get to it eventually. Fallout London seems fantastic. It seems like it's on a greater scale than even that of like Bruma, probably closer to something like Enderal, right? It's more of a self-contained game all to itself. Tainted Grail is to Skyrim what Stalker is to Fallout. Yeah, and I was waiting for a Stalker to finish cooking, and I'll probably wait for Tainted Grail a little bit to finish cooking. Sounds like they're really updating it quick though, so that's good. Star Wars overhauls for Starfield. Yeah, they have some really good ones too. I mean, the Starfield does the bounty hunter fantasy really well. If you watch The Mandalorian, that's like the show version of Starfield. You can go do bounties and, you know, work on your armor, work on your gear, and work on your ship and things like that. Go to another planet on a bounty, have a little side adventure, and go back to your bounties. All of that. There's no game that lets you live in the world like Skyrim's. Yeah, that's you could do it in Fallout too, but I think you kind of need an alternate start for Fallout, because it's just the narrative is too strong in those. Yeah, Ross has it. Yeah, you need an alternate start mod. Yeah, I do the same thing with Skyrim too, because it's really hard for me to get around these apocalyptic prophecies of the main storyline and of the Dawn Guard without that immediately becoming your #1 priority with every single character you play, and that just kind of it homogenizes every character, and I don't really like that. So alternate starts for me, and then the option to be Dragonborn or not be Dragonborn, it really opens up more paths of storytelling other than just being Dragonborn. Tainted Grail said console mod support could be in the works. Oh yeah, I'm sure that's where the audience is, right? That's where the big numbers are. A lot of people who play video games on PC, I think they really underestimate the huge mainstream crowds that are on console. The vast majority of gamers for pretty much any cross-platform game is most players are on console. So any indie developer, it's easier to develop for PC to get it out, and then it's like once you get that base established, then absolutely the goal is always to release on console. That's where the money is. All right, let's just get this going. This isn't going to be a building stream or anything. I'm just going to get the main foundation set, and then we'll head off to Iverstead. Talk to the Greybeards. More nails. Soccer game called Rematch, made by the Sifu developers. That looks pretty good. Yeah, I liked Sifu. I liked the just the character that Sifu had more so than the gameplay. It was really unique, interesting, and novel gameplay with the right stick being like your parry and attack or whatever. You don't really push the buttons too much, but because of that, you lose a lot of precision, and that was tough for me to get over. It's a very precise game. It was very tough. It's a roguelite as well. Probably closer to the roguelike end of that rogue spectrum. But those games are notoriously very tough too, and just having a little bit more precision, just being able to use like the D-pad for some of that stuff would have been great. I enjoyed it. I played all the way through it. I beat it, actually. But yeah, I was frustrated by the controls a little bit. I actually have a hard copy of it on, is it PS4 or PS5? Yeah, I played it on PS5. Yeah. I got a collector's edition of it. Because I love Kung Fu movies, and that was a love story to Kung Fu movies, that game was. It was great. The clay back in there. Don't need clay. Any quarried stone? Put the iron in there too. And drop these animal bones down in there too. Maybe nails. Yeah. Okay. Large animal bone. I can sell everything else off. Cool. Now we have a house. I guess I could plant some stuff in this garden area. What do I have on me? Canis root. We can throw some canis root in there for fortify archery. I think I have some dragon's tongue in here too. Yes, I do. Fly amanita. Okay. Yeah, let's plant what we have while we're here. Let's not waste a trip. We'll build the greenhouse off stream, I think. Don't have any Mora Tapanella. Oh, I do have plenty of Mora Tapanella. Yeah, we'll throw some down in there. Why not? Anything else in here that I want? Nah, it doesn't look like it. Okay, continue with Dragon's Tongue. Mora Tapanella. So this stuff, the Canis root I planted because it has Fortify Archery on it. Dragon's Tongue, Fly Amanita, and Mora Tapanella make a very powerful potion. Or not powerful, but very valuable potion that has a lot of different effects on it. So it can scale up your alchemy skill really, really quickly. And I can also use those potions to sell off for, you know, perks, buying gear, all kinds of other stuff. Training. Rematch is a learning curve, so is Sifu. Yeah, Rematch looks... I'm just not a big soccer fan. I'm sorry to all the Europeans we have in chat. I've watched some of it. I understand why it can be fun to watch, but, you know, born and bred on football, baseball, and basketball, the, like, big American sports, you know. Soccer is just a little bit harder to get into for me. Or football, European football. Football, eh? Yes. Foosball. That's a different sport. Some people are, you know, serious enough about that they do consider it a sport. There's Dragon's Reach up there. And here is that brazier up there. I think we have a... Do we have a carriage stop up here? Maybe we don't. The carriage stop is up further north, but there's also that pale guard over there that I don't want to deal with right now because we have 1,000 septum bounty. Apparently we killed someone fighting that dragon. I have no idea how, but we did. Oh, Fußball with the German B that is pronounced as an S. I know about that because I found this German to English dictionary in the library one day, and I flipped through it, and then I saw an entry for the Fußwaschen. And apparently in Germany they have a word for washing your feet. It's a noun of the act of washing one's feet. De Fußwaschen. And it's pronounced with an S, but it has that uppercase B character in it. So yeah, Germans be weird. I'm Bermudian. I saw a funny meme yesterday. It said, "Happy Treason Day, you ungrateful colonial." Yeah, I know. I work with a bunch of English people too, from Great Britain and the UK, and it's always a good time ribbing about you know, the whole 1776 thing that went down. Ausfahrt or something like that means road exit. Oh, well, yeah, you're gonna remember any word with fart in it. Sitzpinkler means one who sits to pee. Nice. Man.
Take a look.
German is weird, but it's kind of awesome too. I want all these words. 762 is all you got? What kind of vendor are you? Traveling apothecary, and you have nothing for potions or ingredients. It's kind of weird, dude. Kind of weird. Yeah, it does kind of have a demonic ring to it, doesn't it? Racist to call him from Great Britain? Well, I don't know. I don't think so. Yeah, they're all just compound words, right? We do have compound words in English too, but a lot of ours have like hyphens and stuff in them, and they just smash them together. But to have them in a dictionary though, in like a translation dictionary, like these are words you might need. Der Fußwaschen. You go to Germany, make sure you know how to say the washing of the feet. They use a lot of letters too. Whole lot of consonants, but a lot of letters. I had to work on localization for, well, I still do work on a lot of localization for our product, our software. And we oftentimes have to like rearrange how big our like text boxes are and stuff, because what like these containers that would fit like an English word, like they're just way too small to fit a German word. So we have to like completely reconfigure the UI of our product in order to fit French to a lesser degree, but German in particular. They have long words. North Watch Keep, Fort Dongard. I want to go to Iverstead, please. British and English are not the same thing. Oh. Well, we call them the UK team, which I think includes like Scotland and England. English has compound words, but the Germans, man, they take it to another level. And then there's Welsh. Not sure about Welsh compound word. Oh, that's another UK country too. Yeah, most of my lineage comes from Wales, actually. Got a lot of Scottish in there too, and got some Norwegian, some Baltic stuff, Eastern European stuff in there too. Okay. We're a vampire. We're kind of a night owl, you could say. So, you know what? I'm not doing the 7,000 steps again. Guys, I just can't do it. I've done it like 3 or 4 times already in this playthrough, and I'm done. I'm just fast traveling to High Hrothgar. I can't go up those steps again. British is the people that were there before the Romans. Okay. So like the Britons. Difference between British and English. Well, that sounds like a social studies lesson. Bori, I'm looking for Arngeir. There was somebody shouting at the mountaintops outside. That could be Wulfgar. Could be Arngeir. It's not that late yet. It might be dinner time for some of them. Bori, Wulfgar. Who else? Arngeir, there's one more. There's one more I'm missing. Who am I missing? English, Great Britain, UK, kind of like states versus US versus North America. Maybe not the best analogy, but yeah, just kind of different ways to split it up. Maybe along ideological lines or historical lines instead of geographical lines. Who is this? Arngeir, there he is.
You're all in your debt, Dragon.
Yeah, you are, so pay up. Have you located... Let's go ahead and get some more favor. We might get a dragon soul. No, didn't get one. Have you located any words of power?
I felt the whisper of a word. Give me your map and I will show you where its echo can be found.
There's a mod that makes a fast travel point from the bottom of the mountain up to the top. Interesting.
Sky, guard you.
Interesting. So you can click it in the world instead of clicking it on the map. A little more immersive, I suppose. Okay, let's get a nap here, and then where is this sending us? Fulgunther. Fulgunther is out in the marshlands, right? Yeah. Cool. We can go do that over in Morthal, and I can also help out the people of Morthal to get the Hearthfire home out there too. Awesome. 2 birds, 1 stone. I like it. It's a door in the side of the mountain to teleport you up and vice versa. I gotcha. Yeah. So it's, yeah, it's just a loading door, I guess. That instead of taking you to an interior somewhere, it just takes you to another... Just takes you to High Hrothgar, I guess. Remember using it back in the day when I played on console. Yeah, just a load door. Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, it's immersive. It's one of those immersive... I would put that in the immersion mods category, I think. And while we're here, we may as well meditate, right? Let's see, what seems good? If we're avoiding fights, then Kind's Peace is useful on the road. Soul Tear, we're not really a necromancer character. I can buy all the soul gems I need, so I don't really need the soul trap effect on this. The resurrection effect on it would be pretty cool though, but typically we're not trying to kill a lot of people, so we don't have a lot of corpses around us. Storm Call, probably even less useful. I don't know. So I'm trying to keep 3 in the clip here because of the whole Soulslime thing. I need 3 in order to do that. Soul Terror is not useful until you have all 3 words. So I gotta summon Durnavir again. We'll just do Storm Call, I guess. Oh, I could have done Frost Breath as well. Frost Breath would have been pretty good. Ah, well. I'm not actually using a lot of these yet. There's not nearly as many as I should be anyway. Storm Call sucks, to be honest, since it doesn't discriminate friendly and enemy. Yeah, but you can use them for Thunder Child shouts. I just don't know which ones yet. As knowledgeable as I am on a lot of Skyrim mods, the Thunder Child one has been the one that eludes me the most. Get that third word of MFD. Marked for death, yes. Do you know where those are? $15, $16, $17, $18, $19, $20, $21, $22, $23, $24. Boom shakalaka. Man, the trial and error on that to find how many heartbeats to count. And it changes with race with Imperius too, because I think you regenerate stamina faster as it gets lower with an Argonian. It's not always just a linear thing. Forsaken Cave, Autumn Watchtower. I've been to Autumn Watch already. Dark Brotherhood Sanctuary. Okay, I don't think I've gotten the one. Forsaken Cave, have I done that one yet? I don't think I've done that one. That's the white file one, right? I knew about the one in the Dark Brotherhood Sanctuary, so that one would be easy to get. MFD sounds like an EDM band. It does kinda. It does kinda. But you don't need the quest for the file to get it. Yeah, if you're gonna get the file eventually, though, it's better to just get it all in one shot. Otherwise, you got to double back and stuff. But yeah, the word is right there. All right, so we're going to Fulganther now. March for Death will help a lot, especially in open combat. Just out of the way. Yeah, it's not too far. Yeah, Nightgate Inn's pretty easy, and I have a carriage stop there with the mods that I have. All right, let's summon. Well, actually, let's Howl at the Moon here real quick. No, Kine didn't like that. I guess I've already done that too recently. Summon Durnavir. Mark for Death, still the best shout in the game next to Drain Vitality. I think I started to get that one too. I don't know if I have them all. Yeah, I have 2 out of 3 at Drain Vitality. Wonder where the third one is. How many are in the Forgotten Vale? Because there's the one. Arcwind Point, okay. I thought I was already there. Did I not get it? Maybe I just didn't find the wall there. Interesting. There was one in Forgotten Vale, there was one in Dim Hollow Crypt, and there's one at Arcwind Point. I must have missed the one at Arcwind Point. God, I hope I didn't miss the one in Forgotten Vale. Or Dim Hollow would be a really long dungeon dive just to get a word wall. Mid-year, your mod guides have been so helpful since I found out the PS5 version has external asset mod. Yeah, be careful with that. I'll talk about that in a minute. With Ordinator, it's basically a whole new game. Thank you for being able to... Hey, no problem, buddy. Oh, there's a backdoor to Dim Hollow. I'm pretty sure I got the one in Dim Hollow. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed the build guides, man. I really enjoy making them, and the positive reinforcement is fantastic. I thought I was playing this game in like a cool way, and it's been really nice to be able to just share that with other people, and just be able to combine these different gameplay mechanics in ways that other people may haven't have thought of yet, or maybe have been playing but weren't able to like vocalize it in a certain way. So yeah, it's the positive reinforcement on it has been really cool. So thank you for that so much. The PS5 versions of the Skyrim stuff, I think technically, well, officially they still don't allow external assets. Those ports, the people who are porting those have found a way to kind of bypass the checks that Sony has. So I don't know if Sony cares that much about the Skyrim mods having external assets to actually go through and check these things, but I think at some point if they decide to audit these, they might actually close down that loophole. So at that point, I'm not sure if they would go as far as to delete them from your machine or whatever, but I would just say keep an eye on it. Yeah, it's a stupid rule. It really is a stupid rule. Bethesda's they're sidestepping that by doing the Creation Club stuff, which people don't like because they're paid mods, right? A lot of them are really cheap, but that's still, this is the principle of the matter there. But that does give you a legitimate official way to that Sony will happily, you know, be able to blame Bethesda for anything that goes wrong, for infecting anybody's machines with a bad mod or something, right? Yeah, no, it sucks. It's probably it is the biggest platform. There are far more players on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 than there are on anything Xbox, and probably PC for the most part too. So just to be able to reach the most people possible, you would love to be able to port your stuff to PS5 or PS4 or whatever. They just don't let it, and it's kind of silly. If like, go ahead and blame Bethesda for anything that goes wrong with any of these. Bethesda's barely checking these mods anyway. Get a cheap Xbox One. Oh yeah, no, because of the it doesn't scale your resolution really high, so you get better performance. Xbox One is cheap. No, Xbox One is actually better for modded Skyrim, from what I've heard face to face. Xbox Series X, those are that's the best Xbox, right? But those are really expensive. They hiked the prices up even beyond like PS5 Pro, I think, at this point. So their prices are really inflated, and they scale the resolution to like 4K, and you can't change it. With the Xbox One, I think you get a solid 60 frames per second at something like a 1080p or something like that. Xbox Series S, I don't know about the Series. I know what the Series S is, but I'm not sure how it does with modding. Yeah, Xbox One S I think was the latest. It was kind of like the slim form factor on it. That's when they were able to start shrinking things down and offering things for cheaper. You play Skyrim on a Series S and it's perfectly fine. Okay, you get a full 60 on there too? Full 60 frames per second, you're not stuck at 30 with inflated resolutions. That's cool. Okay, awesome. Series S is probably, well, they hiked up the price of the Series S too, which is crappy, because like the only reason anybody was buying that is because it was cheaper than the Series X. Microsoft is doing good for the future of gaming. Yeah, I mean, they're, in terms of the console non-exclusivity, Yes, but they did also just lay off 9,000 people and canceled like a dozen games just this week. Just completely canceled games. They're doing what EA does. They go and they buy up all these, you know, developers, all these studios, and then they shut them down, kill them. And they weren't doing that up until like last year, and now they're killing everything, and they're trying to make room in their budget to set up these new AI data centers, and they're killing a lot of really good studios to do it. It sucks. Yep, they did. There was the ZeniMax Online Studio had a bunch of people working on a new MMO, a sci-fi one. And they killed it. They absolutely killed it. They've been working on it for like, what, 5 years? And it still had a couple more years in development. And they just killed it, yeah. Well, it's not even just cutting the fat anymore, man. It's, oh, man. It's... that fat had gone a long time ago. Now they're cannibalizing themselves and their studios to feed the AI beast, feed the hungry AI beast. Yeah, that limit still sucks. A lot of people don't have a lot of space on their console though for really big mods. But still, it's like, let the player handle that, right? Let the modder handle that. Just let me do what I want with my box. Yeah, restructuring, but they're actually they're trimming a lot of their Xbox out. They're not putting it back into gaming. They're putting it into AI infrastructure for, you know, general use AI stuff. They needed something like $82 billion for the AI infrastructure that they wanted to build out, and they cut it right out of the Xbox brand. They cut it out of video games, put it into AI productivity stuff. Well, you can have a disclaimer in though, right, face to face, saying that like this game includes mods and we don't take any responsibility for what mods do to your game or their content or, you know, how much space they take up. I don't know. It seems like an unnecessary restriction to me. I mean, if if you want to download a mod that's more than the size of the built-in Xbox hard drive, then go ahead, right? And then you gotta be responsible for the ramifications of that. But if you want to mod out your Xbox to have a huge amount of storage space on it and then download these really large mods, and why shouldn't you be able to do that? The biggest mod on PlayStation right now, from what I've seen, is about 400 megabytes, but I don't know if it's a bug or a quirk of the installer. You need to double the size, free just to install it. He sold it. He sold it. I'm not getting good vibes from it. Everything, they've been saying all the right things, but of course they're gonna have to do all the right things too. Okay, let's see. We got a carriage stop over here. Let's go ahead and we'll take a little nap. We'll travel at night, but we only need a few hours of sleep here.
Welcome to the Villamere Inn.
Man, I can't imagine there being more ads on the Nexus. That if you go onto the Nexus on a mobile phone, oh, it's terrible. You can't see anything. It's just ads pop up all over the place. Also, if you have it open like on your desktop or whatever, and you go and you leave the like they tab open somewhere else and you go browse somewhere else, you can hear the ads on another like browser tab somewhere, and then you're like, where the hell is that sound coming from? And then you have to go through all your open browser tabs and find one, and it's just some crappy ad on the Nexus 99% of the time.
I heard Temba yelling at you yesterday. Why do you let her treat you like that?
I mean, they said they're not going to add ads, or
Perhaps.
they said they're probably going to have less ads is what they said, but I don't know what that means. They also said they were wishy-washy about the monetization thing as a whole. It's yeah, I think I've seen all of those, Magus.
I think you should continue with your performances.
Yeah, I don't think they have room for any more ads on there. They might, you know, have new ad deals with new partners or whatever,
I
but
think you played beautifully.
man, I can't imagine there being more ads on there.
All right.
I just don't even know how that would
I
work.
suppose it's the least I can do for you.
Yeah, I know they were into some like it seems like a fledgling business where they're all trying to like find ways to digitally monetize gaming stuff, right? So they've done like NFTs, which are very crappy. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to the changes that they're going to make. Hopefully they don't make any, but they eventually they're going to want a return on the investment that they made with this. Yeah, I've seen all this. I knew about this. Jesus. Don't you love when your beloved hobby turns into you just looking at business filings? Fuck that noise. Let's just play some fucking video games, man. Well, yeah, he sold out. Literally. He sold his life's work. I mean, honestly, I don't blame him. That must have been a huge amount of work to upkeep the Nexus, and you know, he worked, I don't know how long, probably half, a quarter of his life maybe, to this point on building up the Nexus, and maybe he just wants to, you know, retire, live the good life, sell it off.
Let me know.
Get some financial security and not have to deal with it anymore. That sounds pretty nice to me. But yeah, he probably could have sold it to somebody with better interests in mind. Maybe not NFT bros. Would have been ideal. All right, let's sleep here for a bit.
You saved us all. We will sing of you forever.
I'm not very good, and it's only for the same few people every night.
Sure
All
thing.
right, Wilhelm.
It's yours for a
I
day.
suppose it's the
That's what I
least
was getting at, who he sold it to. Yeah.
Yes? I understand.
Okay, we're not sleeping through the night. We are a vampire after all, but we can get, you know, a nice 3-4 hour nap and we'll be fine. 4 hours. Cash the fuck out with my donation points. Yeah. Oh, you're able to literally cash out with those. Awesome. Yeah, get that while the money's still there for sure. Stop killing games. I only know about the hashtag. I don't really know about the rest of it. Aren't they involved with some like piracy groups too? I mean, I don't condone piracy at all, right? If you want to play a game, you owe it to the people who made that game to pay for it. But if these companies are just going to kill all their own properties, and and the only way to preserve them is through piracy, then I mean, there's no other choice, right? Has anyone heard of the Stop Killing Games petition? No, I've heard of the Stop Killing Games movement, but I haven't seen if it was a petition. I saw a headline in regards to piracy. Then it was DirecTV, no ads. Yeah, right. Then satellite, no ads, but ads came eventually. Yeah, no, this is how business and shitification works. That's what it's all about, right? The new money comes in, they try to stand up this business. In order to do it, they will take losses in order to make their customers happy for the first few years. And then eventually they need to start getting paid, right? Those financial backers are wanting a return on their investment. So then they start cutting costs. They start raising prices, so you start getting a worse product for more money, as they try to get better returns on investment. Business, it happens everywhere. It's been happening forever and ever. As long as capitalism exists, business and shitification is going to be a thing, and then they will destroy the business doing that, right? And then there's going to be another new startup with new money that's going to take all their customers away from them, and then that business is going to die. The new business is going to set up a huge platform, and then eventually all those financial backers are going to want their check, their payout, and then the enshittification cycle starts again. I heard it somewhere before. I'm not sure where I heard it or what context, but I was like, you know what? Enshittification, that kind of fits. Oh yeah, they're shutting down the crew. That sucks, dude. Cities. Where are we going? Morthal. We're going to Morthal. Oh yeah, we're playing Skyrim. I forgot we're playing Skyrim. Business entropy. That's probably a better, more technical term for it. Yeah. Business entropy. That happens with pretty much every single business that has any kind of like shareholder structure to it. I mean, you get your mom and pop shops, you get companies like Steam. Oh, I don't know. I don't think Steam is publicly traded, but the way that company is structured, they all get to like pick what they work on. They all pick the tasks that they have, and they can, you know, do the ideas that they want whenever they want. It's kind of like a company that's run by the employees. And I don't think that they have a huge shareholder financing to how they fund their products. Oh, we got a rogue vampire over here. So Steam is one of those that haven't really become enshittified yet. Steam's great. Man. Very consumer focused with their return policies and their review systems and things like that. Yeah, if you're a player and a consumer, Steam is fantastic. If you're a developer or a publisher, then yeah, Epic's the way to go. If the game can't be played anymore after buying it, then refund the money. Yeah, or you know, just put out an offline mode for it, or allow. Why is kind pleased with my actions? There must have been an animal, a green glowing animal out there that died somewhere. Or allow people to set up private servers for it. It happened with MMOs all the time back in the day. If they canceled an MMO, then you know they would still give you the tools to be able to set up your own server to be able to still run the game if you had it. Now that does cost money. It costs engineering dollars and hours in order to do that, but it's not like building a whole game from scratch because you don't have like all the new artwork and everything. You just have to pay some engineers to tweak the back-end code to get it to run offline. It's not a huge deal. They just want to be able to cut ties with anything that's not making them money anymore at any cost, regardless of how it affects their customers or anything. They just want to be able to cut bait on anything at any time. Which, if you weren't obsessed with making these live service online only games, then you could do that. It's called just releasing a game, right? So how about more offline games, please? That would be better. Yeah, exactly. Just turn off that online component completely. It would probably be a really small update. There's probably just a couple checks and a few lines of code that they just need to go in and snip those out, and you're probably good to go. Now, there's probably some other things, like there's probably certain types of data that are streamed in whenever you log in to be able to populate some menus, but just make that a static menu in a text file somewhere. It's not that hard. I do it every day. I can understand not supporting the on. Yeah, if it's not making you money anymore, then there's no reason to have it up. But if somebody already paid their money for it, then you can't take it away from them. Except that, you know, they can, because they put that all in the licensing agreements and everything. Legally, they can do it. Just not fair. It's not a very pro-consumer move. So I've been saying all along, offline games for the win. Yeah. I enjoy an online game, but to me, they're always temporary, right? It's like, it's not with the understanding that I'm going to be playing this forever and ever. If you know that going in, then yeah, that's fine. And even then, like, I don't play a lot of online games. I'll pick like one or two. Like Ubisoft said, paraphrasing, you own no, you're renting all these games. You're absolutely renting them. What the hell just happened? Did I crash? Weird. It just switched out of Skyrim on me all of a sudden. That's funny. Gonna run now, guys. Okay, Ross, take it easy, bud. You are buying a license to play the game, and there's all kinds of reasons and stipulations of how they can revoke that license if and whenever they want to. So you're not buying the game, you're buying the right to play the game. And that's just an artifact of a digital world, right? It's one huge advantage that retro gaming had. I mean, Nintendo fights it tooth and nail, but like once you have like a Nintendo cartridge or something, there's nobody that can stop you from selling that Nintendo cartridge to somebody else, or cracking open that Nintendo cartridge and modifying it or ripping it or whatever. Iron arrow. Why do I have iron arrows? Oh, it just switched over to the fine steel arrows. We're good. Yeah, but like back in the day with like the Nintendo cartridges, Super Nintendo Genesis cartridges and things like that, software licensing really wasn't a very mature idea at that point. So they didn't have like all these usage agreements and like by installing this game you have to abide by these rules, otherwise you forfeit your right to play or whatever. Terms of service is what they call that. Licensing terms, things like that. Back when everything was on cartridges, there wasn't really much of a concept of software versus hardware because it was all just kind of hardware. IP, obviously, somebody couldn't like make a Mario game and sell it, even though they did in like third world countries where the copyright law was really flimsy, if even non-existent at all. But in terms of like copying the software and using it how you want, there was no concept of that because, you know, lawyers and politicians didn't really even care about software. It was a brand new thing. They were busy just doing their jobs. See if we can do this without making a stink. I am missing the lower half of my staircase here. I don't think I've ever tried to... Oh, no, here we go. We're good. I was going to say, I don't think I've ever tried to sneak past here without actually fighting these Draugr. But yeah, now it's like there's terms of services for everything. Yeah, you're not buying the game, you're buying the right to play it. And that right can be revoked for any number of reasons. Like, Nintendo really does not want you modding their games at all. You try to modify a Nintendo game and you'll be hearing from their lawyers like immediately. So we're fortunate that you know, Bethesda's so open to modders for the games, and smartly, because it keeps them playing their games for a ton and buying their games ultimately. But yeah, if for whatever reason Microsoft or Bethesda decided no more mods, then yeah, they can make that shit illegal, unfortunately. Bethesda realize how much yeah, it's their lifeblood, these modders are, for sure. Now they make a huge chunk of their money just from casual players who never touch a mod at all, right? But to keep this game alive in both players' minds and on their computer monitors and on their phone screens and everything, they need these mods to keep the diehards like us playing and streaming the game and putting content out for it. And the game is not going to have the longevity that it has had without mods to freshen the game up. Yeah, buying re-releases, yeah, and it's easy. It's an easy port most of the time. Now that SE port was pretty tough because they had to convert the whole game to a 64-bit process, which I've done before in my own company's product, and it is not a trivial task, especially for large applications, of which I would consider something like Skyrim to be a large application. But they had to do it anyway to get started on Fallout 4 development, so it was kind of a no-brainer for them. Let's see, can we sneak past all this? Oh, let's see, we got snake, whale, eagle. Snake, whale, eagle. I think we're going to get a PS5 version. Okay, so here's my thoughts on Starfield. I think Starfield's safe. They did cut a bunch of projects recently. Starfield, from everything that I've seen, was not touched. Snake, whale, eagle, right? Snake, whale, eagle. As far as I've heard, Bethesda, other than like a marketing team in London, was untouched, including the vast majority of the Starfield team. Starfield, last I heard, had a really big team still working on it. I think there's something in the works for Starfield still. A lot of people have said that the team's silence on Starfield means that they abandoned it and that it's dead. They're not touching it anymore. I believe that that is not the case whatsoever. Just because the PlayStation 5 port of Starfield would be super easy, low-hanging fruit. The PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X right now are very, very close hardware-wise in terms of instruction sets and things like that. It wouldn't be a trivial port, but it would be a very easy port in terms of just, you know, optimization and things like that. It would be free money for them to just go ahead and take Starfield in its current state, dump it on the PS5. They would be printing money, no problem whatsoever. There's a huge player base over on Sony that has never picked up an Xbox, doesn't want a PC, that would gladly put down money for Starfield at this point, even with the mixed reviews and everything like that. It's still a huge property that made them a ton of money. The only reason that I can think of that they're not doing that if Starfield is indeed dead is I'm sorry if that's the reason why I don't think Starfield is dead, because the only reason I can think of them not doing that right now is if Starfield is not in fact dead. If they have something else in the cooking for it, like they're going to have some kind of AE edition, or probably going to be bundled with the new expansion pack that Todd had already confirmed was still on the way. They just haven't said much about it now. And also Todd has said a couple things leading to that conclusion as well, that the Shattered Space expansion would have been much better received if they just took all of the little content drops that they had for Starfield over the course of that first year, didn't release it all right away and just saved it for Shattered Space. Because Shattered Space was a little light on the content. It wasn't super light. It was about what Shivering Isles was for Oblivion. I played through them both very recently, and it's very similar. Very similar. But yeah, that would make some sense. Just to get more content in one drop, people would have thought better about that one content drop. The other thing Todd likes to do is announce a game and then either shadow drop it immediately or give it like a week to percolate. So I don't think we're going to be getting any more news on Starfield. Microsoft really wanted to hype Starfield all up and create these ridiculous expectations for it. People already had expectations of their own anyway, especially Bethesda fans. But yeah, I think it's when we get an announcement, we'll get a release of the next major expansion for that. I don't think it's going to fix the problems that a lot of people had with it. It's still just going to be Starfield. I don't like these guys flanking me, and they're low-level Draugr, so I'm just going to take them out. So yeah, that's my thought process on it. If Starfield were dead, we would have seen it on PS5 already. It would be free, easy money for them. I really want to ask them why the laser sights don't line up with the crosshairs in the third person. Yeah. Well, it's probably the same reason for most of their bugs. It's like, oh, we just didn't have time to work on that with everything else we were putting in the game. Oblivion Remastered made a lot of coin because of nostalgia-driven interest. That being said, it wouldn't have if they had not improved it the way they did. They made a lot of improvements. They made a lot of improvements that they didn't have to for Oblivion also, right? They with the leveling system and a lot of the gameplay changes that they made, I think they were all good. I loved Oblivion, and usually for people who love an original game, like a remaster where they change stuff, it's not like those changes aren't really well thought of. But I love the changes that they made for that. The gameplay changes, not just the graphics. I think it was all changes that were needed. And to me, with the leveling changes and the difficulty tweaks, I don't think they went far enough. I think it's still just Oblivion, being Oblivion once you get to like level 15 or 20 or so. Eagle Dragon. Nightingale bow is a hefty bow. Yeah, I'm running Zim's immersive artifacts on this. Artifacts, not artifacts. And it gives you a sizey chunk of bonus damage with sneak attacks. Sneak attacks are 50% stronger. That's a lot. You absorb health and stamina. Yeah, it's a good one. And this is completely non-tempered because the thief class is not a smithing class, so this is just complete out of the box. Non-improved. Can't believe it's been 14 years since the last ES game. Man, yeah. For as mixed as Starfield was, it did get a lot of bad press. I think the world's still gonna blow up when Elder Scrolls 6 comes out. People are still hungry for Elder Scrolls, even if Starfield turned them off. Can't believe it's been 6 to 8 months since Shattered Space. Yeah, Shattered Space just kind of fizzled and died. That was kind of sad. I liked it. It was a bit light, as I said, content-wise, compared to something like Far Harbor for Fallout 4 or Nuka World, especially, or Solstheim, even. But yeah, it was on par with, like I said, Shivering Isles, which was generally very well thought of. And it adds some variation and some much needed lore to the Great Serpent side of things. A lot of variability to the atmosphere too. It was all like this weird 80s music video with all this purple smoke everywhere. And all this like weird makeup. It was like a glam rock fever dream. Yeah, I heard a lot of people saying, "Oh yeah, I only got like 2 hours worth of content out of it." That's just a lie. There's a lot more than 2 hours. I got almost 30 hours of content, and I still haven't explored every PoE. If they keep the Skyrim formula, but obviously refresh, reskin in another area with improved mechanics. Oh yeah, no, there are a lot of, you know, gameplay things that are just really, really strongly baked into the Skyrim DNA. Or not Skyrim DNA, Elder Scrolls DNA. The leveling system, I love the leveling system of Skyrim. Not everybody does, which is why that experience mod is so damn popular, but I don't like that mod. I tried playing with it. I like it. I like original Elder Scrolls leveling the best. Use your skills to level those skills. What else? All the different races. You gotta have the races. All the same races. Let me be a vampire. Maybe let me be a werewolf, but that's not required. Then you gotta have all your Thieves Guild, your Fighters Guild, your Dark Brotherhood Guild, all those side quests. You know what? I don't need to go killing all this fodder. I think I could just kill Mick Rule on his own here. I don't know why I'm even going for headshots. I don't have any kind of directional combat mod, directional damage or locational damage. I just think it's cool. Yeah, let's do your uniques, your Daedric quest lines with your unique items. I don't think we even need to go back to the dual wielding system anymore. I was playing a lot of Oblivion, and I feel like, yeah, you should be able to dual wield your weapons, but just give me a block button and an attack button. I don't need to be able to control each hand individually, right? Lacking the skills and attributes sucks. Yeah, I like the well, I don't know about the attributes so much. Skyrim leveling is shit. I disagree. I love the Skyrim leveling. I've got thousands of hours in Skyrim, and I still play the, the vanilla leveling system. I tried. I played a couple of different playthroughs with the experience mod, and I did not like it. I did not like it one bit. It made me feel like I was playing Fallout or Starfield. And I don't want to feel like I'm playing Fallout or Starfield when I'm playing Skyrim. To me, the Elder Scrolls leveling system is what makes Elder Scrolls uniquely Elder Scrolls. I don't want it to feel like every other RPG. Really? Oh, okay. Here we go. Don't need an iron warhammer. Let's see. Face to faces with me with the Elder Scrolls leveling. Yeah. Perks are cool, but lacking the skills and attributes sucks. Yeah, I would. The perks in Skyrim went above and beyond anything that happened in Oblivion or even like Fallout 3 before that. And then since Skyrim, though, I feel like they started capping damage again. So for whatever reason, like Oblivion had hard damage caps, and I don't remember enough about Fallout 3 to remember any of the buildcraft in that. But then Skyrim came along, and then they completely removed like damage caps on elemental damage, on physical damage, and they let you do that through alchemy, enchanting, and smithing, and they just let you just scale your damage up as high as it would go. You were able to use skills up past 100 for everything, and of course they put hard caps on defensive stuff, which makes sense. They don't want people just running around being invincible, like completely breaking the game with 100% armor rating or whatever. But yeah, in Oblivion, all that stuff was capped at like 100, and so like physical damage was completely gimped. If you're playing a warrior character, like I just put on my channel, you have to use magic as a warrior character in Oblivion if you want to play anything above like what journeyman or novice difficulty. It's just the physical damage just does not scale high enough. In Skyrim, they completely removed all those caps, so yeah, now you can make any build viable as long as you're using a crafting skill or some combination of crafting skills. And then Fallout 4, they started capping everything again, and they did with Starfield as well. So I hope for Elder Scrolls 6 they uncap skill level progressions for calculations and things like that. It gives you a lot more variety of viable builds. Oblivion does not have the same variety of viable builds that Skyrim has, and neither does Fallout 4 or Starfield. Yeah, also the enemies being unleveled. Yeah, you're right about that, Magus. But if they just allowed you to calculate your damage based off of skills above level 100 and all of those skills, you'd be fine. That's something that Skyrim does that Oblivion does not, and the buildcraft really suffers for it. So there is a mod in Oblivion Remaster that uncaps those levels for calculations, because in the vanilla game you can have like a I don't know, like a strength level 250 or something, but it's only gonna calculate it as 100 for your damage output. But there's a mod that actually removes that calculation cap. That's cool. Whoever came up with the stupid tedious challenges in Starfield, I don't actually mind the challenges either. I'm finding something to argue with everybody here. No, I like the challenges. I love the gameplay challenges. Some of them better than others, obviously. I like it because it gives you something in the game to do to make your character stronger, and I'm all about that. I know with like role-playing purists and stuff, you want just your character class and level to dictate everything. But I like being able to do something in the game that gives me more power. And for Starfield especially, it's like it's kind of a combination of the way Fallout 4 does it with just its pure experience. It's more of like a traditional roleplay game where it's like you kill enemies, you do quests, you get experience, and then once you get to a certain experience threshold, you level up, and then you use like these skill points or attribute points or whatever to make your character stronger. That's cool. Starfield does that, but then it also has the sort of Elder Scrolls DNA in it too, where it's like you have to use these skills in order to progress them once you unlock them. And I like the combination of that. It makes you do both. I like it. I can see why some people wouldn't like it, especially like if there are people who prefer the experience mod that just gives you Fallout 4 experience systems in Skyrim. Then yeah, you probably don't like the skill challenges. I do. Hey, Kjarn, your beard is manly. Yeah, it is. I'll show you my stuff in Discord. Yeah, yeah, I would like to see the uncap because that would really expand buildcraft in Oblivion Remastered for sure. Oh yeah, no, I know. There are lots of them that do it, and I'm not saying it's better. I'm just saying I prefer the vanilla Skyrim system. I can see how some people would think it's tedious. I don't mind the challenges, but having to do them to level up is dumb. I can see that. Yeah, so not only... Well, yeah, I guess you want the experience to be the end-all be-all for being able to take your skills. I can see that. I kind of liked the dichotomy in that game. Is like, if I want experience to unlock these skills, then I have to go do quests, because like the killing enemies in that game doesn't give you much experience at all. But now, in order to increase these skills that I've unlocked with my experience, now I have to go do the gameplay stuff. Karn being contrarian. Oh, you don't even use it for your own? I have the tweak for the ionize, so... Oh yeah, no. I don't mind uncapping. I don't mind the uncapper at all. Oh, you have to tweak the INI for the experience. Okay, I thought you were talking about the uncapper INI. Yeah, no, I don't have any problem with uncapping. But yeah, if you're taking that experience mod and you're tweaking it to your own preferences, then yeah, of course, that's gonna work best for everybody. I could probably enjoy the experience mod too if I tweaked it exactly the way I wanted it. I don't know, maybe it's nostalgia or something else. I just really like the Skyrim vanilla leveling system. And the legendary stuff, yeah, I get why people don't like it. I don't mind it as much. I use it as just a method, a tool to be able to level up past level 81 or 83 or whatever that hard soft cap is. And then I'll usually just use crafting skills to go past that. The uncapper I've used before, and that is a much more organic and seamless way to do it. Just keep using the skills that you want to use, and you can level up indefinitely based on those skills getting higher and higher. But depending on how you have it tweaked, it also might make you stronger and stronger and just eventually just completely break the game, which, you know, some people like that in a role-playing game. Karn's going soft. Oh no, I got all my fighting out. I trained jiu-jitsu for like what, 12 years or something like that. I fought for fun for 12 years. I don't need to do it for real now. You ripped your entire Skyrim install out. Are you gonna do your own this time? Yeah, I'm a teddy bear. I look like I might kick somebody's ass. And I could. I very well could. But I wouldn't. I'm a nice guy. Got my fight out earlier when you pooped, when you dropped those treasure goblins. Got some legendaries. What kind of build are you going for, Magus? Wouldn't it be cool if human design? Oh, no, you know what? I've seen too many, like, bad, get what you wish for, like, sci-fi shows and stuff like that, right? I would just hate to see what we would have to do instead of pooping. Could you imagine if you had to poop back out through your mouth? That's basically what mosquitoes do. I wouldn't want that. Stuff has to go somewhere. May as well just poop it out into a toilet and flush it. Like if pooping wasn't a thing at all, you just absorbed everything into your body. Well, that wouldn't be good either. I mean, I guess I probably wouldn't miss it that much. What kind of conversations are we having? Jesus, these streams go off the rails, guys. And I know I'm mostly to blame for it. Yeah, I mean, if there were like no unforeseen consequences and you just never had to poop ever, yeah, I don't think I would miss it that much. We'd probably all like save a fortune on plumbing. Because how much of our modern plumbing systems, our modern expensive plumbing systems are like just there because of having to deal with our poop. Yeah, we'd have to have like super evolved like livers or something to be able to love going off the rails. Yeah, if it wasn't eventually toxic to you, there'd be no drawback. Or if we had some kind of like replaceable filter. That filter would get disgusting. That would be just like pooping eventually, is having to take that thing out and put a new one in. But where would all the food go? Right back into your body. It just like the Native Americans did with the buffalo. They used every part of it, right? We'd use every part of our food somehow. Our bodies would be just much more naturally able to break down the stuff that we couldn't break down before. Now that being said, not being able to digest fiber is what keeps our system clean and kind of washes out all like the extra fats and stuff that give us heart disease. So not being able to poop there would kind of hurt there, but I guess if we had other ways of dealing with it. Isn't it amazing that the liver is usually the first thing animals eat when they kill each other? I did not know that. It's the last thing I want to eat. That thing looks gross. Just give me a nice muscular butt. Cook it up real nice with some butter and some salt, maybe some garlic. Yeah, I'll eat a butt. I'll eat a muscular butt. Better than sex, you think, Joe? Tell me how old you are without telling me how old you are. Or you'd rather have a good poop than sex. Where does Aquaman poop? Yeah, I haven't seen any toilets in Atlantis. That's a good point. Heck yeah. Oh boy. All right, I am over encumbered. I need to get rid of some shit here. Guess I don't really need mammoth tusks. Those are pretty heavy. Dragon bones I can have. Smiths via honed metal. Shape those into weapons and bows or like arrows, ammo, things like that. The Vigil Veteran stuff, I wanted, it's unique gear, it's statically placed unique gear. I would like to give that to either Raya or Gregor, or one of my housecarls somewhere, so we'll keep that. Oh, that's all he needed, the mammoth tusks, we're good. Okay, where are we going now? Back to Morthal, I think? All right, let's help some people out in Morthal. We'll see if we can unlock the Hearthfire property there. A Chardier, cheers to you as well. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. I don't recognize your name, so if you're new, welcome aboard. Stay a while and listen. If you're not new, welcome back. This crossbow out does more raw damage. Okay, I'm not really too worried about the poison as a vamp. It's like I heard him going right. Oh, it's a Reaper too. Oh, I'm stuck. I knew this was gonna happen at some point. Hope you enjoyed your shitty conversation. Poop Jitsu, it's this shit. Oh man. Been watching like for the last 2 hours. Okay. So we started talking about poop and you're like, ooh, I want to join this conversation. I see you. I see you. We're 5 years old. Yeah. We all are on the inside. Oh, the snouts I don't need either. Okay, back to Morthal. Yeah, I really got to consider... Shit, I'm just gonna do it right now. Magus, you convinced me. Actually, the bugginess convinced me. I'm turning off kill cams. At least for my ranged archer characters. Where is it? Violins, here we go. Told ya. I haven't had a problem with the melee ones. I play more melee characters than I do ranged characters. But yeah, for this dodge roll and fiend, if I shoot something and then dodge roll right after it, it kind of breaks animation sometimes, gets me stuck. Oh my god, that is a big crab, and it got me with the double swat. Ooh, that crab's as big as I am. I am playing on a modified legendary difficulty, and that modified difficulty, that modifier does not make it easier, it makes it harder. Let's take a look at the Wildcat settings, see what I got going on now for damage scaling here. So out of the box, Wildcat Legendary is a little bit easier than... Oh no, I got it pretty much like right at Legendary. I can... There, now we're at Vanilla. Boom. Max that shit out. I don't want to be one shot by every single thing that I encounter right now. You saw that crab took like 2/3 of my life with one hit. Don't be a bitch. Please. So, yeah, with some characters, if I'm able to max out defense, yeah, I'll crank that shit all the way up to like 8 times, right? This character, since she doesn't craft, there's no crafting, I can't, there's just pretty much no way that I can get to the armor cap with this character. And since she's not an enchanter, it's really, really hard to work on my elemental resistances here too. So I think at regular vanilla legendary difficulty, we're taking plenty of damage to be scary as hell. Mud crabs do smack hard, especially the big boys. Violence has an option that makes enemies flinch during the kill cam so you don't get attacked during the animation. Yeah, I use that. I actually do use that. It's called stagger pulse, I think. Yeah, it's triggering the kill cams without killing, and then, yeah, like I said, if I'm doing a dodge roll during the kill cam, it freezes my animations completely, and I just get stuck and I have to reload a save. Kanan Gaming. Probably Kynan. Kynan Gaming? Welcome aboard, buddy. Hope you're doing well. See, that's why dodge mods suck? I don't think so. Does that to me too. Triggers the kill cam without killing an enemy sometimes without violence. Yeah, that's a vanilla thing. It's really the dodge mod animation. Probably something with Nemesis and the violence not playing right together. Nemesis animation engine, behavior engine, I suppose. Okay. No, we're in Morthal. Let's see what we can do. You know what? I'll do the Morthal questline off camera. No, why not? We're going back. We only got about 37 minutes left in the stream here, so may as well stick around in Morthal here. More like TK bitch. Man, Magus is on one today. Reef's not here. Yeah, he was here earlier. He's usually your TK dodge sucks buddy. So I have a question. Jiu-jitsu is a form of judo, right? Yeah, kinda. What belt did you reach? Judo has only like 4 colors, didn't it? I took Taekwondo first, which has like 1,000. Oh yeah, I have all kinds of stuff to say about the history of that. Okay, so judo versus jiu-jitsu. There was a Japanese dude named Kano who invented a martial art called jiu-jitsu. It's Japanese jiu-jitsu. And he went and sailed the world to spread his martial art. So in a lot of parts of the world, it's still known as jiu-jitsu. And in Brazil particularly, he spent a lot of time there and had a lot of high-level students in Brazil. So that became Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Kano went back to Japan and he continued honing his martial art even more. And he decided that it should be called judo, and he formalized it at that point, made a bunch of rules for it so that it could be used in competition. Just things that they could polish up the and formalize the point systems so that it's like easier to understand when a point was scored. It brought in a lot more money through the just people being more accessible, so more people wanted to watch it. So at that point, jiu-jitsu in Japan, at least the Kano school of jiu-jitsu, became known as judo, and that's what we see today in the Olympics, right? It's more about all the throws and everything like that. Jiu-jitsu was always about throws, and I think it was maybe actually invented. It evolved from old samurai grappling techniques, where if they could get a samurai, a rival samurai down on their ground on their back, then it was a pretty trivial job of just stabbing down through their body and piercing their armor and things like that. So getting somebody thrown on their back was almost like it was very close to a death sentence. So they put a lot of emphasis on being able to throw someone in their back. So when it got to Brazil, the Gracie family got hold of this, and it was, what's the guy's name? Hold on, I have a book written by the guy. Helio Gracie. Here we go. Camera shut off. Let's try this. This old guy right here is Helio Gracie. He is the guy who basically took Kano's jiu-jitsu, which is basically the judo that we see today, and turned it into the Brazilian jiu-jitsu that we know, that you see in MMA a lot. And the big difference between that is that Helio was a lot thinner. He wasn't as strongly built as his other brothers that took to judo much better. They were like these massive, like muscle-bound dudes that was just having no problem throwing each other around. Helio was a little more frail in terms of his physique, so he was having a hard time, you know, throwing his brothers, let alone even just moving them at all. So he still took the teachings of Kano, and he was able to vastly expand the ground, the joint locks, the grappling part of it, the ground grappling of it. So what he would do is he would just, you know, pull guard, which is something that judo practitioners would never do, because that's basically just a self-submission, right? Once you get thrown on your back in judo, you're done. It's like a knockout. But his practice would, he would put himself on his back, and then he would look for like a submission hold, like a joint lock or a strangle or a choke or something like that. But there were a lot of people very interested in that martial art, because there are a lot more people who are not built to throw other people around than there are, you know, these jacked up muscle-bound dudes that can throw anybody they want as far as they want. So he gained like quite a big following of people who were like not these muscle-bound freaks that wanted to be able to defend themselves and to wrestle and be able to you know, do some kind of martial art. So that made it accessible to everybody. Even these muscle-bound dudes could still find things that would work for his school of jiu-jitsu. So that became so much more popular than regular judo over there, that kind of became like the de facto martial art of Brazil. And then of course, Royce Gracie took it to the UFC and put it on a world showcase of like this no holds barred fighting, of like how just flopping on your back and strangling somebody how effective that can be against these world renowned wrestlers and kickboxers and boxers and things like that. And it all just blew up from there. So now we have, you know, just the pure Japanese judo. And there are still people who do the old school Japanese jiu-jitsu, which was less formalized, more about self-defense than it was sport. Modern day judo is like all about sport. And Brazilian jiu-jitsu is a Brazilian form of judo for skinny people that can't throw people. Right? Yeah, it does. I think it roughly translates to the gentle art, but that's just because you're not hitting each other, and you can spar with each other pretty much full speed without hurting each other and knocking each other out. That being said, train one day at a Brazilian jiu-jitsu school, and you will laugh every time you hear it called the gentle art. It is not gentle. It hurts bad all the time. Yeah, there you go. If you know how to fight on the ground, then you know how to fight. You can avoid standing strikes.
Your skin's as pale as the snow. You scared of sunlight or something?
Yeah, so I trained for like 12 years. I got to purple belt. And yeah, you're right. There are only like 4 or 5 belts. There's white belt, and then you go to blue belt, and then you go to purple belt, and then you go to brown belt, and then you go to black belt. I was on the verge of getting my brown belt before I just decided it wasn't worth the pain that I was putting myself through. Jiu-jitsu and judo are notoriously stingy with their belts. The belt systems for a lot of like Americanized martial arts like Taekwondo and a lot of karate and everything, they added a lot of belts because the Americans were much more responsive to constant promotions. They wanted that constant positive feedback So they added a bunch of belts to all those more traditional martial arts for the American audiences. Because we don't have the patience, apparently, that other people do. Like to rent a room.
Sure thing. It's yours for a day.
Unless you're a yeah, no, if you're like beating other
Yes.
black belts, then they're gonna promote you quickly. I did well against other brown belts and black belts. I was ready for my brown belt for sure, but attendance and mostly attendance is the big thing. I trained 45 minutes away, so that would be like an hour and a half round trip. So for nighttime classes during the week, that was tough for me to get to with my gym that I was at.
I understand.
So I was progressing a lot quicker when I lived closer than I was when I lived later on, but yeah. You learn to not care about the belts. So it's like, they kind of know you're ready when you don't care about promotions, right? It's a big deal when you do get promoted, but at the end of the day, it's just something holding your gi on, holding your gi closed or your pants up. Yeah, my main instructor, like when I got my blue belt, he was like, so how's it feel to have that blue belt on? And I was like, well, honestly, it feels a lot like the white belt. And he was like, that is actually the right answer. It's just pretty much just holding your gi closed. Do I need another sleep? Yeah, let's sleep a little bit here. Yeah, if you look up the percentages though of people who start jiu-jitsu as a white belt and they get promoted to blue belt, it's less than 50%. And then people who get promoted to purple belt from blue belt is like even less of a percentage. And then by the time you get to like brown and black belt, I think from brown to black it actually goes up, because by the time you get to brown, you're pretty much in it for the long haul. But from blue to purple, there's a huge drop off. I think only like 15% of like blue belts ever make it to their purple belt, and even less to the brown. What happened to your sweet little Argonian? Why is she a vampire? Yeah, so long story short, she was best friends with Zora. She was learning to love. She was learning to be happy. She was learning to find bliss in her day-to-day life. And then she went to Dim Hollow Crypt, and Zora's dog Miko died, which sent Zora into a spiraling depression. And it left Cole here, collects many things, very she was feeling abandoned, maybe a little betrayed. So she was in a very dark spot, and when the option presented itself to become a vampire, she knew that Zora would object, so she just did it on a dark whim. Oh, is Joe saying something? I gotta see what Joe's saying here. Asking more questions about jiu-jitsu. It's been a long time doing jiu-jitsu. I can answer any questions about it. So judo is a competition form of jiu-jitsu. Yeah, kinda. They've forked. They both have the same root, but now they're different branches. They have a lot of the same techniques, but the way they're applied is quite different. Thanks for the insight. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, it is fun. I mean, I just got to a point where, like I said, I was kind of far away from my school, so carving out an hour and a half in just commute time between my home and my jiu-jitsu school, on top of the 2 hours I was spending in class, because I was doing double classes at that point. So, geez, that was like 3.5 hours each night. On top of the fact that, you know, as you get older, your recovery times tend to increase. You're more prone to injury, more prone to inflammation and things like that. And one, you know, 2-hour class session was taking me more than a week to recover. Especially at my age, not the age bracket. If I were actually fighting other people my age all the time, it wouldn't be a big deal. But we were doing a lot of sparring in folks our own weight bracket. And as a large 230-pound man fighting other, you know, much younger 230-pound men, you know, like twice a week or whatever, it was taking me more than a week to recover from that. I was sore, inflamed, everything hurt all the time, and it was making me unhappy, so I had to stop. You trained with Megaton, right? Mackenzie Dern's father. Yes. I don't know if I actually ever sparred with Mackenzie. No, I did. She played with me the whole time. She was like not even fighting, and I sparred with her at the time boyfriend to Taquinho, which I don't know if he's still fighting in the UFC or MMA or not, but he was for a while. That was, it's like, okay, you fight the other college wrestlers in my weight bracket, and I would come away like feeling like, okay, I just got pummeled. I kind of held my own. I gave as good as I got, but that felt like a fight. When fighting Mackenzie and Taquinho, I didn't feel like I got in a fight at all. My feet were never on the ground. I never had my balance. They were always 2 or 3 steps ahead of me, and I was tapping out like every 4 seconds. I was like, what's going on here? They're not fighting me, but they're kicking my ass somehow. Yeah, grips and fingers get sore. I got crooked fingers, just like these 2 fingers right here on my left hand. Dislocated them several times from trying ankle picks, and yeah, just getting caught in gis and stuff. You get your knuckles all calloused up. Megaton himself has like these weird alien hands that are like, he's got these huge knuckles and like these disfigured fingers and toes. Yeah, if you look at somebody who's done jiu-jitsu all their life, their hands are gnarly. I was able to avoid most of it. I do have a lot of problems with my fingers right here though, for sure. And I did break my thumb. I've broken my pinkies on both hands. I've broken my ring finger on this hand, dislocated both the pinky and the ring finger on this hand, and I broke my thumb once on my left hand. I broke all my toes at some point too, yeah. Cauliflower, I've never had cauliflower ear. It's weird. Like I said, I trained for 12 years, never had a problem with cauliflower ears, and I've had to fight out of guillotines and stuff. I've had a lot of pressure on my ears. Just some people are disposed to it and some people aren't. Enjoyed Taekwondo, but things came up and Taekwondo went to the wayside. We'd need to regain so much flexibility. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. I would love learning the skills, but the flexibility would hurt. What the fuck am I doing? I'm just walking right back and forth during this. I'm like wearing a hole in the ground over here. It's okay. Still got muscle contusions from a skiing accident? Yeah, skiing will mess you up, dude. Even if you don't get into like a big accident with skiing, it's like it'll tear your joints down over time. Skiing is like, that will wear you down fast. I've never done it. As non-painful as it was to spar with Mackenzie, sparring with her dad was the most painful thing. That guy is explosive, even for his age.
So
that guy will roll hard, and he encouraged you to roll hard too, which is like why.
Sirs, we will no doubt see. Welcome.
Why I end up having to quit, I think, is just because of how hard we were sparring all the time. Let's see, what happened to that burned down house?
Hrothgar's house? He lost his wife and daughter in the blaze. My
pushing
people
60
believe
plus,
he
yeah.
cursed now. Who am I to gainsay them?
He can strangle you out
Hrothgar
fast
blames
too.
his
It's
wife
like
for
with a
stealing
normal
their
collar choke from a normal person,
Many folk think
like
he
you
set
have to
the
hold
fire
it for a good,
himself.
5 seconds, 8 seconds at least before the person starts fading. But I've seen people go out, like 1 second
Lust
from a
can
standing
make a
collar
man
choke
do
with
the
Megaton. His
unthinkable.
grips are
The ashes
beastly.
were still warm when he pledged himself to Alpha. On rumor and gossip? No. But you, a stranger, might find
Hold man strength. Yeah, there's some of that too. It's like, I'm not supposed to beat this guy, so now all of a sudden your brain is telling your body to be a little bitch when you fight this guy. That's the secret of old man strength. Where do you stand on the war? I haven't found anything yet. All right, so I guess if we do this thing, I'm probably not going to finish this within the stream, but it's a pretty cool quest. I always enjoy this quest. $60 plus seems so far away. Now a lot closer than it should. Yeah, my wife and I were talking about our last dog. She lived to be 14, almost 15 years old. And if this current dog lives as long, then we're gonna be 60 when we start looking at a new dog. It's crazy to think about one more dog, and now all of a sudden we're 60 years old.
Are you a stranger?
No, I'm a friend. Do you know what happened to your house?
Smoke woke me up. I was hot and I was scared, so I hid. Then it got cold and dark.
Professor trained for like 25, and he doesn't have it either.
Will you play with me?
Yeah, Megaton never had cauliflower ear either. We were talking about it, and because like some guys were struggling with it, so they'd wear like the wrestler like ear cups.
We have to wait for nighttime though.
And he was like looking at it, he was like, I've never had cauliflower. And I was like, yeah, I've never had a problem with it. Yeah, so it's like some people just, I don't know, their ears are prone to it, and other people just aren't.
She might hear me. She's so close. If you can find me first, I can tell you.
You can do this quest without killing Hrothgar. I think that name is wrong, but I can't think of the right one now. It was probably just a typo. All right, so we got to come back at night, right? Can do. Got muscle contusion, but a weird caveat is that my legs are like a tank due to the skiing. I've got 6-inch muscle in my calves from it. Nice. Can you dunk a basketball? That'd be pretty sick. Oh, the guy's name. Gotcha.
Poor bastard's better off.
Gotta be able to dunk. Ear got head-butted right at the right crest of the ear. Okay, so it was just kind of a... Maybe I'm just lucky enough to have not had my ear hit in just the right way. Helgi. Find Helgi after dark. Yeah, I don't know who all remembers it, but there was Randy Couture made a comeback at like 46 years old, I think. And he became the UFC champion for a while, and he did that all with just anticipating what the guy would do and then just adding some timing on top of that. And then knowing the techniques to counter the techniques that he knew the other guy was going to do. And he went on a nice little run until he ran into Brock Lesnar and just got outbigged by that dude. Oh, shit. Hrothgar, I think. That's the name we're going for. That's a rogue vampire. Okay, vampires are territorial. We're taking this. We're taking her out. Did not recognize that vampire. Laylette.
You found me! Layla was trying to find me too, but I'm glad you found me first. Layla was told to burn Mommy and me, but she didn't want to. She wanted to play with me forever and ever.
We're just a freak.
She kissed me on the neck and I got so cold that the fire
She's
didn't even
dead.
hurt.
Smear's beard.
Leylette thought she could
she's
take
a
me and keep
vampire.
me, but she can't. I'm all burned up. I'm tired. I'm gonna sleep for a while now.
Leylette. She's dead. Smear's
Brock
beard.
Lesnar's daughter. Is she all
She's a
jacked too?
vampire.
Is Sable her mom? Because those are some strong wrestling genes. Long-haired version of Brock. Yeah, Sable's the mom. Okay, yeah, so she didn't have any choice but to be jacked, I guess. Sable's genes didn't even try. Okay, where is that? Hrothgar? Do I gotta talk to Hrothgar? Yeah, I was thinking I would like to get back into martial arts just to,
Leylette.
you know,
is
have
dead.
like a hobby, a skill to work on and get better at. The Taekwondo would be rough because of the flexibility. I don't think I'm making myself
Doing
more
some
flexible at this
building,
age.
We can deliver it wherever you need.
Karate, I would love to do like a traditional karate as well.
That's fine. Leylette. She left to join
But
us
at boxing, I think would probably be pretty good. I wouldn't have to deal with
Poor
it too much
Leylette.
lack of flexibility with boxing. Yeah, Silence got the boxing. Tai Chi. Tai Chi's got some flexibility to it. I actually did some Tai Chi. I did Kung Fu in college for a few years.
She
And, I
began
picked up
to
some Tai
spend
Chi
a lot
from
of
that.
time with Alva. Yet just a week before, she despised her.
She's competing in shot put.
Fact.
Awesome.
The night she disappeared, she was supposed to meet Alva. Alva told me later that she never showed up. I never got to tell her goodbye.
There's also a Gracie Jiu-Jitsu place right around the corner from where I live. I don't think I'm ready to dive back into that though. The Gracie stuff is a little softer, a little more not as heavy impact as the Megaton stuff was.
You think Alva?
It's a little more mainstream jiu-jitsu
But
than the
that means-
hardcore Megaton
Ye gods. You
sparring.
think Alva is a vampire?
So it probably would be a little better with the recovery on that, and that's much closer than it was to the Megaton school.
No, you're wrong.
And I would already have a
must
leg up
be
there.
wrong.
It would just be
May have
like
met her
continuing my
fate out
training
in
instead of
the
learning
marsh.
something completely new.
I refuse to believe Alva had anything to do with this. There
More
is
self-defense
no way
design.
You can prove it to the Jarl.
Megaton is more competition style. That's why he focuses more on the sparring. Yeah, I've seen a lot of like the Gracie combative stuff. One of my friends is really into that. Who's teaching his wife and kids all of that, all the Gracie systems of self-defense and anti-bullying stuff and things like that. I would just want to work on the techniques, and I'd like to spar a little bit, but maybe not heavily like I was doing. It was too much. Gracie, Baja, and Humaita. Yeah, I was doing the Gracie Humaita, which is kind of more traditional stuff. The Gracie Baja is more of the West Coast stuff. I think this might be Gracie Baja. Alva. Hrothgar. Yeah, I don't think I have to kill any of these people. Alva, I think, does she piss fart back to Movarth? Movarth's lair? You can use both for competition or self. Yeah, I think my size with this beard, I'm is a 6'4", 240-pound guy walking down the street. Just being 6'4" and 240 pounds is much better self-defense than most most jiu-jitsu is going to be. And the beard helps too, I think. They don't know I'm a gentle teddy bear. No, I mean, you provoke me the right way. I'm not going to be a gentle teddy bear, but don't need to be scared of me walking down the street. You would think it's nice until you go to get on an airplane somewhere, Silent. Then it really sucks. Or a bus, God forbid, if you had to get on a bus somewhere. Shopping for a bed. Or a bedroom that will fit the bed that you need to sleep in. Shoes, pants can be tough to find. In the style that you want. Wake up, Idgrod.
Is Hrothgar innocent or not?
Alva set the fire. She's the murderer.
Alva? Huh, didn't think she had it in her.
Can't fit the seat. You have to sit at a 45-degree angle. You can't drive a supercar. Yeah, Porsche. Yeah, European cars, right out. Let's see. Most Japanese stuff, actually, if it's not like American made. I couldn't even fit in a 4Runner. My wife and I went looking at 4Runners, and I was sitting like this.
I assume you have proof? Can't go making
Not taking car to my
accusations
Miata
like
anytime
that
soon.
without proof.
Right. Well, as long as it's a convertible, I guess I could. You could let the wind drag tear out what's left of my hair.
So it's true, the traitorous bitch. Morthal owes you a debt. Here.
You riding on
you
two
were
wheels.
Promised a reward for solving the crime, but I need one more favor from you.
Magus is pretty tall
Morthal
too,
is still
from
in
what I
danger.
remember.
The journal mentions Morthal.
Probably have some
Master
LBs on him, but
vampire I thought was destroyed a century ago. I'll gather together some able-bodied warriors to clean out Morth's lair. They'll be waiting outside for you to leave.
69 inches. Of course, you're 69 inches. You said it with inches on purpose too, Silent. I know you did. All right, another vampire menace. That's fine by me. Vampires don't like rival vampires in their territory. 5'9", and yes, I did, sir.
Take us to Morth's lair.
Almost 6'2", right at 195. Nice. Man, if your back were feeling better, we could do like we could start like a tag team wrestling venture. We do the local circuits, you know? Backyard wrestling? No. F that noise. That's right out. That would hurt worse than the megaton jiu-jitsu. 235 at your largest when you're lifting? Nice. I've had so much tendonitis in my right elbow lately. I hit the bench press hard on... It was Wednesday night, and I'm still suffering with the tendonitis in my right elbow. I think I'm paying for all those years playing baseball. I was a pitcher, and I had a lot of problems with tendonitis back then. I don't know. I think at this age, it might be turning into arthritis or something. Maybe. I hope it's not that bad. So I've been icing it and stuff, and doing the resistance band stuff to try to keep it good. See if it helps. Been doing the massage gun on it too. Next time I go in to see the doctor, I might ask them about it. See if they want to scan it or something. Of course, if they do find something that's worse than tendonitis on it, they might say, okay, well, what we got to do is scope it. And I'm like, okay, I don't think I want Tommy John surgery as a 45-year-old weekend warrior, you know? Doesn't seem worth it to me. .6'5", 245. People are definitely scared if they see me in a dark alley. Yeah, I don't like scaring people, but it does happen. It does happen, unfortunately. I found what works to disarm people is to act just as scared of them as they are of me. And they're like, oh, okay, he's fine. Often think how nice it would be to be 6'2" or more, than I think about how nice it is to be able to find clothes easily. Yeah. Well, and then you eat a lot more too. So food is more expensive, clothes are more expensive, travel is more expensive. Depending on how active you are, you might be spending more on your doctor bill because of the joint issues you have for just being tall. 4.640 your junior year. Damn, that is quick. I've never had those quicks. I was always pretty fast for my size, but I was never that just fast in general. Hit your head on things a lot. I do that. I've been living in this house since 2016, so that's, holy crap, it's almost 10 years. That's 9 years now. Yeah, and every low-hanging eve that we have that nobody else hits their head, I hit on my head on it like all the damn time. It sucks. All right, guys, you ready to take on Movarth here?
Unless it's about the mill. I don't have time to talk. Too much to do.
Okay.
I'm just a poor man trying to make a living. I'd leave Morthal were it in my power.
Take us! Yeah!
Kill the vampire!
Let's kill him! Destroy him!
Oh, this place looks dangerous.
Yeah, kind of scary too.
And it's full of vampires?
Cowards! We must kill
Ben
the
over there
vampires.
being the town badass. He's also scared.
Of course. But why not let her go in first?
The mill is my responsibility.
Yeah, all right. Go back to your mill. You know,
That's all.
you guys,
Understand?
fine. We'll do this vampire to vampire. .65 and wore a 5.8 sneaker. I mean, I guess it does happen. That does sound weird. Your legs are already rough. All right, let's see. Can we target Movarth here? I'm tempted to just exterminate these spiders right here, just because I don't want to get flanked by them when I'm focused on these vampires. Really like to try to limit the wet work as much as possible, but in this case, these guys are a liability, so we'll take them out now. Oh, I've met people taller than me. I've sparred against people taller than me. I sparred against somebody who was 6'7" and 300 pounds. Holy crap. And actually, yeah, my wife is friends with an old work coworker. He is 6'7", 300 pounds, and he's a bodybuilder. That dude is huge. He everybody like stares at him whenever he enters a room. Yeah, when it's weird encountering somebody who's taller than me, but when it does happen, it's like, whoa, that's what it's like to have to look up at somebody. But yeah, I ran into Shaquille O'Neal at the Target over here. This was like 15, 20 years ago, maybe. And then in the same Target, I saw Brooke and Robin Lopez, NBA centers, man. Nobody's bigger than them. And yeah, Shaq had to like duck his head to go in the retail door entrance. Brooke and Robin Lopez, I've never felt shorter, those guys. And they were with their dad, and that dude was like super short. He was like 5'6" maybe. But yeah, even like the quote-unquote short basketball players like Steve Nash, he was 6'5". He was taller than I am. It'd be weird to see him in real life. Him like running around all those other like Towers of Power.
What was that?
He looked like a little guy. No, he's 6'5". Ah, shit. Shit, I knew that was gonna happen. He's got like 3 arrows sticking out of his face. That's amazing. Oh, I need to turn that stagger pulse off too.
I cannot best you.
Okay. Deadly sniping. Oh, I don't really have the encumbrance, but I'd love to take the Apotheos stuff. I'd love to have a full set of this. I think I can get it over at the Sleeping Tree Camp anyway. I can leave that here. Only have 11 pounds of encumbrance anyway. Let's go see if we can find the boss chest. Stuff to be on the ends of the spectrum, short or tall. Yeah, even at 6'4", I'm not at the end of a spectrum. You see those people that are like super tall, and it's like, whoa. All right, let's see. Here's the boss chest here. Yeah, I'm not going to go too far finding, like, looting the rest of this place here. We did our job. We'll head back to Idgrod. And I don't know after that how much more stuff we're going to have to do in order to be able to buy property, but you would think that, you know, saving Morthal from this vampire menace here is good enough to earn us a spot in our little community. You would think. If a short person asks you to get something from the top shelf, you get it, right? Why can't I ask short people to pick things up off the ground for me? That's a
Mother's
good question.
calling me. It's time for me to sleep now. I'm so tired. Thank you for making her feel better.
That's hilarious. That reminds me of that Short People song by Randy Newman. That song is hilarious and awfully mean, but I love it for just that reason. Didn't Randy Newman sing the theme song for Toy Story? Yeah, he does all kinds of theme songs, but that's the guy. The Short People song is great. I'm pretty sure it's copyrighted, so I'm not going to show it on the stream, but yeah, just YouTube that later. It's hilarious. The first line is, "Short people got no reason to live." Oh, that's hilarious. All right, guys, I am 6 minutes over my window. It was fun chatting with you guys. We only found the one word wall, so we didn't make much progress, but it was still fun to play. Get into the head of Cole a little bit, do our, you know, angsty, edgy teenager get the inner angsty teenager out with the gothy lizard here. Why not? Gotta exercise that every once in a while. So thanks for joining. It was fun. It was nice seeing all you guys. Check the links in the description below. You'll see a lot of the usual suspects in those streams as well. Oh, also I did release the Oblivion Warrior Guide. So that's on the channel as well. If you want to see how playing a warrior works in Oblivion, go ahead and check that out. It was fairly informative, I thought. It was a pretty good build. A lot of fun to play. So try it out. Let me know what you think. And then also the Discord, if you want to continue the conversation, I check the Discord every day, at least once, and we have some conversations there. I also, bounce around ideas for builds. We talk about, gameplay mechanics and just all kinds of stuff over there. So that link is in the description below as well. All right, that's it for me, guys. You guys take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Oh, thanks for the link, Magus.